Wasn't very interested in the birthday party. He was more interested in his toys.
Oh, yeah.
And they brought animals. It was farm themed. And so I felt like I was more excited about the animals. But then I didn't want to be like too excited.
Petting zoo type animals?
Yes.
Awesome.
So there was like a mini pig, a donkey, mini horse. It was great. A cow.
Did you get to, so you did take it, even though you didn't want to act too excited? You just kinda
Yeah. Because some of the kids were not that interested. And I was like, okay, I'll just kind of wait for a second and then go over there. And I had so much fun. I was just hanging out with the animals.
That's awesome. That's great.
Nice.
I love it.
I just relaxed. Nothing big. Just much needed relaxation.
Yeah, me too. And I even wanted to do stuff but I was just too lazy. I was relaxing too. That's a good weekend to have where you just want to do stuff and you don't.
You choose not to.
You say, next weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it just continues.
Every single weekend.
There you go.
How weird was it to have a Cardinals Sunday? I don't remember in my entire life during the season the Cardinals ever having a Sunday off that wasn't weather related. Obviously, they've been rained out on Sundays in the past, but to have a scheduled off Sunday tells you where baseball is. That baseball is just a mess. Because baseball is one of the biggest attendance days, or Sunday is, for baseball. Well, once the NFL season starts, not as much. But
correct.
Right? But during the summer, to not have a Sunday, it's kind of weird for baseball to have that.
Yeah, I got up yesterday and was looking around like, gotta see what time the Cardinal game started. And no, there's no game. No game. All right.
The Cardinals split over the weekend in Kansas City, and another troubling start for our friend Adam Wainwright, who in one inning allowed 8 runs on 9 hits Friday night. He didn't walk anybody, but he didn't strike anybody out either. But when you allow 9 hits in an inning, it's just alarming. And it's alarming not only for us, but it's alarming for Adam, too.
Yeah, and I think probably what's playing into me a little bit, and I'm hesitant to admit it, but, when you, and I've heard this from older guys who have retired, but when you know you're done, you could lose an edge, I was really resistant to that because I thought I would fight like crazy until the end. But I'm gonna have to refocus and get real serious about ending strong, because I don't want to go out like that. I mean, that's just embarrassing. Nobody wants to see me do it. I know a lot of people are rooting really hard for me, and I know a lot of people are really sad right now with how things are going. And I get it, man. I get it. Nobody, trust me, you're not more sad than me. All right, you're not more sad than me. I'm really sad about it. So, but I'm also very confident that I'm going to end strong. I don't know why that is. I got no reason for anybody to believe me. I understand that, but I really had a really good sense about me that I'm going to finish really strong.
I've used this
term. I don't even know why I believe that, but I believe it.
Yeah.
So that's the important thing.
It is important to believe. And I use this term for Adam Wainwright. He is relentlessly optimistic, and that's why he believes it. But looks like in baseball, Father Time is going to be about 21,000-0.
Yeah, I mean, in all professional sports.
Yep.
The one thing that he hit on, once you start thinking about retirement, it's time to retire. Mm-hmm. It's not, you can't delay it a year, or I'm going to retire in 2 years, or I'm going to. Once your body and your mind has set in that I can do without this anymore, you're going to go and do without it anymore, because it takes so much energy, so much effort, so much time. It's both mentally and physically draining to prepare every single day to do your job as a professional athlete. That once you set in your mind something that you've been doing since you were a child, that I don't have to do this anymore, it's really tough to climb out of that hole of I don't have to do this anymore and I'm okay with not doing it.
And not to promote another radio station, but there was a really great interview with Matt Pauley and Ollie Marmol this past weekend where they discussed the Adam Wainwright situation, other things as well. And he asked Ollie specifically about if this is about Waino getting to 200 wins, because people, that's the perception, right? Mm-hmm. That this is a very selfish act. You see that on social media. I'm not saying that. I see that all over social media. You guys see it too, where people are like, this is selfish. He's taking so much money from the organization. He just wants to get to 200 wins. And Ollie Marmol addressed that, and he said, I've talked to him. It's not about the 200 wins. He actually wants to go out there and believes that he can go out there and help. This is not the result that anybody has wanted this season? Of course not. It's just tough. It's like you guys were saying, and CD, being around so many athletes where, you think you can still keep going, and Waino has said that over and over again. He's in the right mindset. The results are just not happening out there on the mound.
But it is about the 200 wins. I mean, what else are we watching for this? Obviously, you want to see younger guys perform. Mm-hmm. They're not going to win the division. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not providing anything game to game that makes you glued in and locked in. Yes, it is about getting to 200 wins. That's a number that for Adam Wainwright and for any pitcher would be great. It would be ideal. So, yeah, we are wanting that. He wants it. Ollie wants it. I'm sure every man on that team wants it. But at some point, Adam has to perform to the level in order to get to that number.
And last year, the team was winning. But wasn't last year all about 700 home runs?
Yeah, it was.
Correct.
It was. It really is. And it's tough to see this happen because then you see all this discourse on social media where everybody's like, okay, does he continue to start? Does he go to the bullpen? What do you do from here on out with Adam Wainwright? And that's a big question. From here on out, it seems like he is going to make his next start, according to Ollie. So that will be interesting to see. It's tough to see that over and over again because, in my opinion, he's earned the right to keep going out there. And as you mentioned, CD, what else do we have to cheer for this season?
Exactly. Do you all think that he would want to get to 200 wins in a relief role?
No.
Because I don't.
I think he's got too much pride for that.
I do too. I don't think he would want to be in a position where, he comes in and
the vulture.
Yeah, and steals a couple of wins. He's a guy that wants to earn it, wants to go the 6 innings to earn that win, that victory. And if he's going to get to that level, to that number, he's going to have to perform better because it's hard to watch, and I know it's harder on him because I know he's giving everything he's got. It's just not. It's not happening right now.
On Saturday, Tommy Edman hit a couple of home runs. Cardinals won the Saturday game. Also, before that game, Dylan Carlson placed on the IL with an oblique, and those can be dicey injuries. There's 6 weeks left in the season, and with his injury history, I'd kind of be surprised if we saw Dylan Carlson again this year.
I absolutely hate it because what did we talk about with Dylan Carlson? And even he mentioned before is getting some more opportunities, and then he's dealing with another injury, another setback, especially when we're in this competition. These last 2 months, essentially, in my opinion, is a showcase, another tryout for next season, especially when his name was being brought up during the trade deadline. Was he going to be able to solidify that role as the Cardinals center fielder of the future or even just an outfielder? And now he's injured again.
Right.
It's tough.
It is tough. I mean, it's unfortunate, and it's as an athlete, you can't afford to get injured when you are vying when you're trying to earn a starting spot, when you're trying to, in football, when you're trying to stay on the roster, you can't afford to be injured. We have a saying, you can't make the club in the tub. Mm-hmm. And so this is essentially what's going on with Dylan Carlson. We've seen it with Tyler O'Neill, just guys that have the talent but haven't shown it long enough in long enough spurts to say they deserve to be starting every single day.
And they called up Luken Baker, which I know Brooke is very excited about. But here's a question that I have, and I get
when is he going to play?
Well, that's one of them.
Where is he going to play?
And where? Yes, both of those.
You need to. They want to evaluate more of O'Neill. Okay. They've got Newt in center field, and they've got Walker in right. But how fun would it be to have Mason win at shortstop and just move Edman into center field? If Carlson is hurt, because at some point you're going to have days because they're built in where Tyler O'Neill can't go. So I think that would have been fun, but I do think we'll see Mason win before the end of the season. I think we'll see him when they expand to 28 players in September. And you know what? Good for Luken Baker. I hope they give Luken Baker a little bit of run. I'm with you, Brooke. What's the point of having him here if you're not going to play him? If you took away the chance for him to set the all-time Memphis home run record, because
he was so close, and then you took that away. He's got to get some playing time.
So hopefully he will get some playing time. Soccer, City SC rallied to tie Atlanta United 3-3 in a scrimmage. MLS regular season resumes a week from today. Is that right? No, a week from yesterday. August 20th. And Bradley Carnell's crew will host Austin. So that'll be fun. And they were able to get that draw in the scrimmage down in Atlanta. And yesterday, the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield added Dwayne Wade, Dirk Nowitzki, Tony Parker, and Greg Popovich. Those are among those elected to the Naismith Hall of Fame in Springfield. Springfield, Mass, not Missouri, by the way.
Oh, yes.
That's a good clarification.
Yeah.
Important.
But what a group. I mean, you talk about Nowitzki changing the game, and then Parker and Popovich from that dominant, I would call that a dynasty, the Spurs dynasty.
They won 5 championships.
Yep. And then Dwayne Wade, he won 3 championships and went to the finals 5 times?
5 times.
He went 4 with LeBron and once with Shaq.
Yep, lost twice when with the Heat, with Miami, with LeBron there.
But was the man in a great program that they had in Miami. So congratulations to those guys on making it to the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, and they have their induction, I believe, in November.
Good for them.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool. Later on in the show, we're going to talk to our friend Chris Kerber, the voice of your St. Louis Blues. We're only a month away from training camp, kids. It's amazing. The hockey training camp is almost here. It'll be here before we know it. A little discussion about Tommy Edman coming up. We'll have our Bird Watch as we do all the time, NFL news and notes, and a lot more coming your way on this edition of the Opening Drive on 101 ESPN. Coming up, what we loved about the weekend here on 101 ESPN.
The MLB plays on ESPN. Saturday morning, Yankees and Red Sox. Coverage starts at 11:30. Your home for the MLB in St. Louis is 101 ESPN.
Kevin Brett from Mentality Men's Health. Guys, in the over 20,000 clients who came to us for testosterone treatment, we've seen shortcuts that not only affected clients' results, but it was also risky. Make sure you're working with a doctor who closely monitors your care, reviews labs with you regularly, and modifies your dose. There's no one-size-fits-all and no shortcuts. Our FDA-approved treatment will optimize your free testosterone and maximize you mentally and physically. Covered by insurance so any guy can afford it. In St. Louis, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Folks, my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck are celebrating 55 years in business this year, and you spend 55 years in business anywhere, you know that you've done a great job. And at Chesterfield Fence and Deck, they've done a great job of installing fences and decks and sunrooms and screen rooms and pergolas for that entire time. They've earned themselves an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau, and they have the best people in the industry. And what they're going to do is send their great people out, professionally trained installation crews and salespeople and all of the people that work with them, and they're going to come out and take complete measurements of your job, and then when they do that, they're going to provide you a free, no-obligation project design with a photo gallery of jobs that they've done in the past, and that will help you make a decision as to how you want to build your project. It really is amazing the way they do it, and you'll love the work they do at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. You can find them on the web at chesterfieldfence.com or call 800-300-4054. Mention Randy Karraker and get 20% off your next installed outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best.
In a world where down payments are out of control.
But I've only got $29.
You need Frank Lita Mitsubishi in the automotive outlet in Bridgeton. Hop in if you want to live.
Really?
Nah, I'm just being dramatic.
Big down payments have met their match. At Frank Lita Mitsubishi, every vehicle is $29 down. $29. Stop. You need $2,000 down.
Frank Lita wants to get you approved, even if you've been turned down elsewhere.
Every vehicle is $29 down. And you get a lifetime warranty, no charge.
We're not going to make it.
Spoiler alert, we're here.
$29 down.
$29.
With 2.9% financing, 2.9 for 60 months.
At Frank Lita Mitsubishi.
In the automotive outlet in Bridgeton.
YesLita.com.
YesLita.com.
23 Outlander Sport, 28.7, 29 down, $515 a month for 60 months at 2.9% APR, plus tax tag title to qualified buyers.
Made to shine. Real stories from Shane Company customers.
I grew up in a small town near my grandma. I looked up to her in so many ways. Her creativity, her style. Sadly, she passed away before my wedding. At my rehearsal dinner, my mom surprised me with my grandmother's favorite amethyst ring from Shane Company. I wore it on the big day, and I felt like she was there with me.
Shine bright with hand-selected gemstones in every color of the rainbow. Shane Company. Fine jewelry since 1929.
Open up your 101 mobile app for your chance to win a $200 Amazon gift card. We're always loaded up with awesome giveaways in our 101 Listener Rewards section, including your chance right now to win that $200 Amazon gift card. Get entered to win now at either 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This is the opening drive on 101 ESPN. Brought to you by Sumner One.
All right, what we loved about the weekend here on the opening drive. Brooke Grimsley, what do you got?
My number 2 thing is going to be number 2. Number 2. It's okay. I can do my own sound effects. And
number 2.
There it is.
There we go.
Sounded just like a CD. My number 2 thing is going to be Luken Baker. Getting the opportunity to come up here because you guys know I've been talking about it a lot. I firmly believe that if you do the right things, that you deserve a promotion. And right now for the season, we have had some people text in and say, this season is not done. Don't give up on this season just yet. Okay. Thanks. Well, what do you guys say about that?
I would say that when you trade 2 key relievers and 2 of your top 3 starting pitchers, that would probably say that you're probably cashing out.
They're good to try, but I want to see some new young blood where guys are getting a lot of opportunity. I think Luken Baker has a big chance to do that. I don't like seeing that Dylan Carlson is injured. Some people have also texted and asking if it's a ghost injury to be able to give Luken Baker more of a chance. I don't think that that's the case. I think that Dylan Carlson is also auditioning for his role and his job and solidifying that. I highly doubt that he would want a ghost injury to happen, or even the Cardinals, because they're evaluating people right now. I just hope to see Luken get another or a fair shot this time and see what he can do. Because you never know. Either he could be a part of the organization next season or moving forward, or maybe could even be a piece that you move.
Yeah, he's got intriguing power. He's kind of a Paul Bunyan type guy. So I'm intrigued by that.
My number 2 is we saw the injury that took place, the cardiac arrest that we saw take place on the field in Cincinnati when DeMar Hamlin went down, Bills versus the Bengals last year, and DeMar Hamlin getting an opportunity to return to the field. I had many people asking me, do you think he's ever going to play again? Yes. When it happened, and once we knew he was going to be out of it and come through and everything was going to be back to normal as it could be for him, yes, because that's what we do. We play the game. We love the game. And this is a young man who has a great career ahead of him. I'm thankful that the people that were there at that time were there to rescue him and save his life and bring him back to life, and that he's out there doing what he loves to do and being able to perform. I think it's awesome. A
great thing about the weekend. It's so cool to have him back and have him want to be back to the level that he was before the heart, as they call it, a cardiac event.
Yes. Yeah, so. And not many people who suffer those are able to come back in certain instances too, especially if there's something more underlying issues there. So it's great to see him come back this season. It's a great story.
Yep. Guys, my number 2, last night I was at the Majorette in Maplewood on Manchester. The Cardinal wives got together for Wives for Wishes to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and they came in with a goal of raising over $200,000, and they did. And the Cardinals had a really rare off Sunday. Things aren't going great for the Cardinals, but almost every player showed up with their wives and girlfriends and helped the Make-A-Wish Foundation raise a ton of money. And Todd Thomas and Jim Hayes and I had the honor of being the MCs, and it was so cool to see so many St. Louisans be so philanthropic to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So thanks to everybody that was involved. They did a great job, and especially thanks to the wives of Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado for being at the front of things and raising a ton of money for a great charity, the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
It's always sweet, too, that on their days off, a lot of them are doing charitable efforts like that. Yeah, they don't have to, they don't have to whatsoever, but the fact that they go out there, even on their days off, and do something like that is a great event.
Yeah, and that's... $200,000 is 20 wishes for kids that are afflicted with cancer.
Number 1.
Number one, I talked about this in the earlier segment, guys. I had a blast this weekend at a child's birthday party. Please invite me to more of your children's birthday parties. I did not understand how fun that they are. So it was a 5-year-old's birthday party. He was very interested in cars, but also animals. So they did an animal theme, and they brought, I showed you, CD. I mean, they brought like mini horses. There was a mini pig. There was donkeys. There was chickens. There was bunnies, and guess who was in the thick of it all with the children? Me. And maybe I'm just like a child at heart, but I love animals so much, and I thought it was so cool. The birthday boy, not as excited about the animals, but I feel like with kids, that's just how it is sometimes, right? Like, it depends on the day of what they're interested in.
And sometimes if you have a little bit of a fight and you have the right set of animals there and you have a little fight among the animals, it's called llama drama.
Is that what it is?
There was no llama drama there.
There was no llama drama?
No, I wish there was a llama.
That's good.
What about a bouncy house? Did they have a bouncy house for you?
They did, but it was too small.
You
It
didn't
was
partake,
not. It was
huh?
not
Okay.
full size. I got to draw the line somewhere.
My number one was watching the Tennessee Titans versus the Chicago Bears, and Terrell Williams, defensive line coach, assistant head coach for the Tennessee Titans, getting the opportunity to be the head coach for the game. I thought Mike Vrabel did an outstanding job. It was the talk of the beginning of the game. Just when was he going to challenge? When he was going to challenge? Just the nuances of being a head coach in the NFL, getting that real game, real week experience and opportunity. I think that was really awesome that Mike Vrabel did that for him, and hopefully we see more coaches doing that in the future, giving their assistants that opportunity to be head coaches in the game, especially assistants of color, because those are the ones that don't get the opportunities to become head coaches at the rate that the other ones do. So hopefully they get that opportunity.
And hopefully Terrell Williams gets that opportunity. But if he never does, he can always say, I had a better head coaching career than Nathaniel Hackett did.
I always like when my Titans are getting good headlines too. So that was great to see. It seems like they're creating a great culture over there too, with Rand coming in and really changing things up too. So I'm excited about that.
Hey, the Chicago Bears.
Oh, Justin Fields. He 2 series and like 190
touchdowns. He threw, and both of those were screens. That's the point. That when you get a DJ Moore on your team, that's why you go get a number one receiver.
Yeah.
Catch the ball and make a play.
Big time.
Yes.
Guys, my number one, there's this little thing, and it started when Michelle was here. It's indigenous to the 101 ESPN morning show. It was called the Karraker and Smallman Bump. Now it's called the Opening Drive Bump. Our buddy Steven Matz has made 6 starts since the All-Star break. In those 6 starts, he's 4-0 with a 2.16 earned run average. This is after he spent time with us at Adam Wainwright's event, his charity event, okay? He was in the bullpen. He was languishing. He gets with us. He starts pitching better. They take him out of the bullpen, put him in the rotation. 4-0 with a 2.16 in 33 and a third innings, 29 strikeouts in those 33 and a third. Another great performance on Saturday night in Kansas City. Cardinal Nation, Ali Marmol, Dusty Blake, Steven Matz, you are welcome.
We did that. I think so. Then we got to set some parameters to that too. So we'd have to meet them in person, because you could argue that the Waino situation isn't exactly working in the favor.
Yeah.
So, but we met Matt in person. We also golfed with. Well, he didn't golf, but he was around us.
Yeah, he was around us.
So I think that's the parameter. So any athlete that wants to up their game, essentially, just come hang out with us.
Pretty easy. It's not difficult to figure out.
It's right there.
Yep. So, and Steven, by the way, is a great guy, and for all the struggles he endured early in the season. Oh, by the way, at the break before he was with us, he was 0-7 with a 4.65. So there's the bump. But he and I have the same kind of bicycles. We talked about that. He loves to ride his bike. He loves to learn about St. Louis and the surrounding communities of St. Louis. As a human being, Steven Matz is the kind of guy that, as a St. Louisan, you want on your team.
Yes, super nice guy. Lives in Tennessee too, so we chatted about that. His wife is a singer. Cool guy.
Very nice.
Yeah. So maybe Carey Davis, who's also a singer.
Ooh.
Yeah. Me and Steven get together and
his wife.
duet.
I don't know if he's singing.
his wife.
But a little Carey Oh, karaoke. We have to do this on the show.
That's a great
You
idea.
just came up with that just right.
Yeah.
Did somebody else come up with that in the past?
No,
Okay.
this is why he gets paid the big bucks over there. Yeah.
This is going to happen. Because if you're not aware of it, Brooke, are you aware of the fact that Carey can really sing?
I have heard.
Career.
Yes, I haven't been able to hear in person.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah. Little. We got to.
What is your go-to karaoke song? I have to know.
I did some Boys to Men.
Okay.
I knew it was going to be Boys to Men.
Last year. Last time I did it.
We're going to do that here. We're going to set that up. That's going to be a segment here on the opening drive. That's what we loved about the weekend here on 101 ESPN. Coming up, has Tommy Edman reestablished himself as a shortstop for the Cardinals? That's coming your way on the opening drive on 101 ESPN.
Coverage of 101 ESPN is presented by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. GetJim.com.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant cash offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
I know a lot of you really want the State Farm personal price plan, but what's with the oversharing? Like this voicemail from Leah.
Jake from State Farm. Listen, so sometimes I like to nibble on licorice and pretend I'm a teeny mouse, chewing through wires.
You don't need to get that personal. The State Farm personal price plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Hey, folks, we still have some summer left, and that means you need to have yourself a summer barbecue before everything gets wrapped up, and you need to start at Schnucks. And before you go, download the Schnucks Rewards app, and you can reward yourself daily with 2% back on every purchase you make at Schnucks. You go in and you pick up some of those delicious St. Louis pork steaks and some of that barbecue sauce that we make here in St. Louis, and then get some of that delicious Schnucks Cardinal Cherry Crunch ice cream, and make sure that you get the fresh, beautiful vegetables that they have at Schnucks. And then when you get up to the checkout line, just give them your phone number or give them your app and they can scan it for you, and you will get 2% back. Not only do you get points for money off, but the Schnucks Rewards app has a lot of other great features designed to make your shopping easier. Shop directly in the app for delivery or curbside. Your schedule, Schnucks delivers, and it's effortless. You need to download the Schnucks Rewards app. It really is a difference maker. Gives me a little map when I put my list in to go through the store and make my shopping as efficient as possible. So before you have that weekend barbecue, make sure you go to Schnucks and download the Schnucks Rewards app.
Leonard Skinnard, ZZ Top, 2 American institutions unite. The Sharp-Dressed Simple Man Tour. This Thursday night, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. With special guest Uncle Kracker. On sale now at livenation.com. Part of the Allegiant Always concert series.
This summer, they are coming back. You know where you are? For you. You're in the jungle, baby. Guns N' Roses, live. North America 2023. Special guest, The Pretenders. Saturday, September 9th. Busch Stadium. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. Finally, back in North America. Don't miss Guns N' Roses.
Donate your vehicle to Goodwill and get 4 filled box tickets to a Cardinals game this year. Goodwill accepts vehicles, running or not, and towing is free. Donating is quick and easy. Plus, you'll get a tax receipt. Visit mersgoodwill.org for more information.
If you want your own personal golf green that putts true and gives you real grass performance when practicing chips, pitches, and bunker shots around the green, the only company to call is Clubhouse Turf, St. Louis's exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens. Call Clubhouse Turf today at 314-802-6229 or visit them online at clubhouseturf.com.
You work hard to keep your business running. Let Sumner One manage your office technology solutions. Learn how they can improve your productivity today at sumnerone.com. That's sumnerone.com.
Sponsored by BOS. Sometimes life throws bold moments at you, like when you find the perfect location to start your own business. Turn to the experts at BOS. They can help you seize the moment with bold confidence. BOS. Bank boldly. Member FDIC. All loans are subject to credit approval.
From the opening drive, the balloon party, BK and Ferrario, to the fast lane and more. If you missed anything on 101 ESPN today, get caught up with all the shows and 101 podcasts at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app.
Driven by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
Cards come home from Kaufman on a high note. Good morning. I'm Bradford Bruns, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Buoyed by a 2-homer performance from Tommy Edman, St. Louis earned the 2-game series split in Kansas City on Saturday. The 5-4 win, in which Steven Matz logged another quality start, pushed the Cars to 52-66. Entering tonight's opener against Oakland, Miles Michaelis heads to the hill. He's 2-4 with a 4.78 ERA at Busch this season. Elsewhere in the division this evening, Pittsburgh squares off with the Mets, Milwaukee, Cincy, and the Cubs all idle. And on the weekend pitch, City SC stormed back to claim a 3-3 tie scrimmage style versus Atlanta United. The MLS regular season resumes this coming Saturday. This Sports Center update was driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Live from the Car Shield studio, this is the opening drive on 101 ESPN.
As this one's hit a mile high deep left. Taylor on the run. He looks up. That ball is gone. And Tommy Edman makes it 2-zip. As that one's cracked down the left field line. Did he keep that baby fair? It's at the pole. It's gone. Tommy Edman with a 2-homer night.
Yeah, Tommy's, from the right side, he can slug. He's pretty powerful.
You heard the voice of Chip Carey on Valley Sports, and then the Cardinal manager, Oli Marmol, after the 2-home run performance by Tommy Edman on Saturday night in Kansas City, a Cardinal victory, and Tommy Edman now in double digits for home runs, and he's not the biggest guy that you'd expect to hit a lot of home runs, but he's hitting very well. He's hitting .325 in 11 games with 3 homers, 6 RBIs, and 8 runs scored. The Cardinals feel comfortable hitting him at the top of the lineup. They obviously feel comfortable playing him in multiple positions. And I would think Brooke and Carey, for the next couple of weeks at least, will see Tommy Edman playing shortstop until the arrival, my expected arrival, of Mason Wynn.
Do you think that once Mason Wynn is here and he's your everyday shortstop, Tommy Edman is better suited in center field because of the injuries that you've seen to Dylan Carlson, the injuries that you continuously see to Tyler O'Neill? You get Newt and Jordan Walker in your corner outfield spots, and now you solidify that outfield every single day.
Here's what I would do. Might not be what they would do because they love Tommy Edman in center field.
Yes.
Which is fine. He's a really good center fielder. But he can also give you an airtight, if you have Mason Wynn and Tommy Edman on your middle infield, and then Goldie and Arenado at the corners, that's an airtight defensive middle infield. That, to me, would be the ideal. I think the Cardinals still want to evaluate, though. I think we'll see more of Gorman at second base. I think we will see Edman in center field, but I think there will be a lot of mixing and matching during the course of the last 6 weeks of the season, especially because of the Carlson injury, because right now you're looking at built-in off days for Tyler O'Neill. You're going to have days where Jordan Walker is going to be your DH. So you put Burleson in left, Edman in center, or Newt in center. Yeah, Edman in center, and then Newt in right. You can do that. And then Tommy can play second base on some days. There's a lot of different ways the Cardinals can go about evaluating this, but I do think, to the point, they already have evaluated Tommy Edman, and he's got to be in the lineup. They just have to figure out how he best serves them.
And it helps, too, when he's doing this offensively, because then you have to have him in the lineup every single day. I don't think it's a coincidence, though, too, that since Paul DeJong's exit and he's getting more of a regular start as the Cardinals shortstop, that he's getting into more of a groove offensively. And maybe that's just more of having that defined role because he has been moved around so much this season, but it's his versatility, just like Brendan Donovan, which I know the Cardinals like a lot. And it will be interesting to see how it plays out, especially if he will be the Cardinals center fielder, because I'm sure we'll immediately get some texts in here where people will say, well, what about his arm strength? What about his arm strength? Is that a concern for you guys?
There aren't enough plays where arm strength comes into play. What do you have, 2 plays a week maybe, where the center fielder's arm strength throwing home is an issue? You'd love to have it. It's always a great plus. You'd like to have that Jim Edmonds throwing arm. But for me, it's with the way he can go and get the ball, if he's your center fielder, that offsets the lack of arm strength.
I'd rather have somebody that can go get the ball as opposed to if it's hit out in the outfield and we got to throw a guy, well, we shouldn't have runners on. Don't worry about that. Go get the ball to make sure you don't get runners on base. My question to you all would be, if Tommy Edman is at second base, that changes your entire lineup. So when you feel, because now, as much as we've talked about Wilson Contreras being, he is your catcher until he's not. And he's going to be your everyday catcher for the majority of the games, which puts Nolan Gorman at DH if you have Tommy Edman at second base. The best lineup and the best defensive lineup that they can put together would be Tommy Edman in center field, Nolan Gorman at second base, and Wilson Contreras behind the plate. And if you don't do that, now you're going to end up in the similar situation to what you're having this year. Too many people, not enough spots, trying to figure things out.
Carey, I think that's your best offensive lineup. But I think Kisner being behind the plate is a better defensive lineup.
Possibly, yes. I mean, but Wilson Contreras is going to be
He's going to play.
He's going to play.
He's going to play.
And that's a situation of it is what it is.
Yeah.
And but for me, let's just look ahead to 2024 on opening day. Let's assume that Dylan Carlson and Tyler O'Neill aren't here anymore. Okay, so then you're going to have Edman in center field. You're going to have Newt Barr, Edman, and Walker, right? Am I missing anybody there? If
Burleson?
He's just your extra.
I think he's a super utility, and he'll play a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then my infield, you could play Burleson at second base. But no, you have to play Gorman at second base, right? You have to have that bat. So it's Arenado, Wynn, Gorman, Goldie, and then it does have to be, you're right, because of the contract. Yeah. Wilson Contreras behind the plate.
Well, and then you have Tommy Edman, too, as Wynn gets adjusted, because, of course, every single player is going to have a little bit of that curve or slump as they adjust to the big league level. You have Edman there where he's displayed the season where he's comfortable with being your center fielder, also your shortstop. It is just crazy to think about how the season has played out and the roles that we thought people were going to have going in. Tommy Edman, before the season started, was supposed to be your shortstop, and they had said as such. And then you had Paul DeJong then becoming your shortstop. Tommy Edman is your center fielder. And I just always think back to, I know that he was joking, he was being sarcastic, but remember when we were at Busch Stadium that one day and you asked Tommy Edman where he was going to be, he was like, I think center field today. He's like, but that just shows his approach and attitude to it is great, because that was a role that he has never taken on before, and the way that he was able to adjust to that, I think, shows a lot about his ability and his versatility and his value to the Cardinals this season and also moving forward.
And he coaches himself, which is great. Not that the Cardinal coaches are being negligent, but what he said the other night was, quote, I made a little adjustment at the plate recently. He said, without getting too mechanical, I changed the direction of my swing, and I'm making sure I'm staying through the middle of the field. It's funny that both home run balls were pulled today, but I've been working through the middle and opposite field game. But that just shows you that when you're doing that, you can still pull the ball. And if every hitter would decide, I'm just going to hit the ball up the middle, then you can get closer to what Albert Pujols was. Now, you're going to get to what Albert Pujols was, but just try to hit the ball through the middle. Matt Holliday will tell you that. Hit the ball up the middle, try to hit the ball through the middle, and you are going to be the best hitter that you can be.
Hit the ball hard.
Yep.
Don't worry about launch angle.
You don't really have to. No, it's. I don't think Matt worried about launch angle a lot, and he wound up having a pretty okay career.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Just going back to the Wilson Contreras comments that we were talking about too, I just can't keep thinking about or stop thinking about the fact that Wilson Contreras, of course, you're the ones that the Cardinals brought them into the organization. They paid the money, but there's such a ripple effect with this and how things are going to play out. When we're talking about lineups, we're talking about who's in, who's out, because now you have to figure Wilson in this situation because he isn't seemingly, if we're basing things off what we're seeing right now, he's not going to be your everyday catcher. And maybe that was what they knew going in with him because of what he can provide offensively. But there's such a ripple effect of how this affects the rest of your lineup.
Especially because of the emergence of Kisner offensively. We knew Kisner was a good defensive catcher, but he's emerged offensively. And then you have a guy in Herrera who's 23, who's a really good defensive catcher and has a 969 OPS at Memphis this year.
He looks like he's ready.
He really does. And that's got to be a scary proposition for the Cardinals. You've got the Contreras contract. He's here for 4 more years after this year. Do you have the guts to trade Herrera, or does Kisner find himself off of your roster next year?
I don't think you trade Herrera. I think it would be Kisner. I think, this season has been a good year for Kisner, but these numbers are much higher than what he's had his entire career. He got 9 home runs this year. That's the highest he's had in his entire career. I would venture to say he might have total of almost 9 home runs his entire career up until this year. And so I wouldn't trade away Herrera, knowing that he's younger. Wilson Contreras, you can get 3 to 4 years out of him as your everyday catcher, and then Herrera can take over that role where now you are DHing a Wilson Contreras, and your lineup is completely different. You got different players in different spots by that time. So I think right now it's good to keep Wilson in that everyday catcher role. That doesn't mean he's going to play 162 games at catcher. He'll probably play about 110, maybe 100, and you can move him in other places and still have other people able to play in those games when he's not playing catcher.
And Wilson Contreras' career would not lead you to believe that he would be certainly worth the money as a designated hitter. But that being said, if you look at what he has done in the second half of this season, and yeah, it's the second half of a lost season, he's hitting .344 with a 996 OPS since the All-Star break. He's the hottest hitter in Major League Baseball. And that's great. Now, it's happening during a lost season, but it shows you what he's capable of offensively if you just get him out there and let it rip.
Yeah, it's just going to be tough or interesting to see how the Cardinals handle this, because you also have seen, CD, to your point, the value that Andrew Kisner brings with the pitchers, but then is Herrera going to be a part of this picture moving forward? It seems like he took some major step forward this season where you would think that he would be ready. How does that factor into next year?
Andrew Kisner has 7 home runs going into this year. He's got 9 right now.
And the weird thing is he was drafted as an offensive third baseman coming out of NC State. And all of a sudden they move him to catcher and he can't hit anymore. I remember talking to a Cardinal minor league staffer when Kisner was at AA. And I think Carson Kelly might have actually been at AAA. And I asked how Kisner's defense was, and it was kind of, he better hit. And he's emerged to become a really good defensive catcher, and now the offense, I don't know if he won't reach Contreras' level offensively, but I think that he would give you enough offense with his defensive abilities that you could win with him.
And it has been a more career season for him, but I think them going out and getting Wilson Contreras this past offseason, where they put an emphasis on where they want more of the offensive catcher, I think that shows how they are looking and viewing that position moving forward.
That's Brooke. That's Carey. I'm Randy. It's the opening drive on 101 ESPN. And coming up, we've got Take It or Leave It, which means you need to text in to 314-399-9646, 314-399-YO-HO. Matthew Rocchio is out today. Bradford Bruns is in and doesn't know that part of the game.
We got to get you into the yo-ho.
Yeah. So do you know this part of the game?
That's on me. I'm a student. I prepare accordingly. That's totally on me.
Okay.
Just like
So next time when we come back from the break, you will get to hear the dulcet tones of Bradford Bruns providing a yo-ho. Take it or leave it next on 101 ESPN.
Catch Wednesdays with Wayno every week on the opening drive.
Adam Wainwright with us. It's Wednesdays with Wayno.
Morning, guys. How's it going?
We talk life, baseball, and what's happening at Big League Impact with Cardinals pitcher Adam Wainwright. Wednesdays with Wayno is presented by Scott Lee Heating Company. Never miss an interview with Wayno at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 mobile app.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you're dealing with pain, I got some great news for you. I've dealt with a lot of pain in my life. I've had multiple knee surgeries, shoulder surgeries, hip surgery, and I thought I'd have to deal with that pain for the rest of my life until I met Dr. Sheen, and he taught me about PBM. PBM is a big word. It's an easy explanation. It's photobiomodulation. Simple. It's light therapy that helps you heal. The light stimulates cells in a damaged area, which allows your body to heal itself faster, decreases inflammation, and it helps eliminate pain and discomfort. Even after my first treatment, my elbow has felt great. elbow surgery was on the list of things that I was going to need to do, and my elbows have been feeling so much better since I started this PBM. My physical therapist told me I have much less inflammation than I had in the past, and it has been working wonders for me. I'm able to do the workouts that I was able to do 5, 10, even 15 years ago when I was playing in the NFL. It has been great. If you want to feel great, you need to reach out to Dr. Sheen today online at thesvi.com. That's thesvi.com.
If you're getting ready to sell your car, stop! Your car's value is at an all-time high, and hundreds of companies want to pay you less so they can make more. Get full retail value without the retail hassle at sellmycarstl.com. That's sellmycarstl.com.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, it's Randy for my friends at Golf Discount of St. Louis. When I'm adding a new club to my bag, there's no place I trust more than Golf Discount of St. Louis. Their expert club fitters using their GC Quad launch monitors will always give me the best advice possible. With multiple Club Fitter of the Year awards, Golf Discount of St. Louis disproves the notion that a great club fitting has to be expensive. Their fittings are always free with your club purchase. Locally owned and operated with locations in O'Fallon, Missouri and South County, and coming soon to Edwardsville. It's the place for all your golf needs. Golf Discount of St. Louis.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, BT here. Are you looking for a job or tired of the one that you have? Well, family-owned O'Fallon Casting is growing, and they're looking to hire you. Join their team today to receive great pay and benefits while supporting our nation's largest defense and aerospace contractors. Current openings include experienced maintenance technicians, welders, quality, visual inspection, and more. Located in O'Fallon, Missouri, right off of Highway 70 and T.R. Hughes. Visit their website at o'falloncasting.com or call 636-272-6176. Look for your new career at o'falloncasting.com.
101 ESPN has your chance to win tickets to see comedian Kevin James performing at Stiefel Theater September 27th. Tickets for Kevin James are on sale now, but we've got your chance to win free tickets to the show. Get all the details and get entered to win those free tickets for Kevin James now at either 101ESPN.com or in your 101 mobile app.
This is the opening drive on 101 ESPN, brought to you by Sumner One. It's time for Take It or Leave It.
Want to say something? We'll put it out there. If you like it, you can take it. If you don't, send it right back.
Get your text into 314-399-9646 and give us your Take It or Leave It.
Brought to you by Gloria Lou Realty. Visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com and start packing.
That's my final offer. Take it or leave it.
Brooke Grimsley, Carey Davis, Randy Karraker, and Bradford Bruns is in for Matthew Rocchio today. And so we're going to get Bradford going here. This is Take It or Leave It, and you text in 314-399-9646. Okay, Bradford, 314-399. Yo-ho! Okay,
there you go. That was beautiful.
Off to a good start. Well done.
That was beautiful.
Amazing.
Take it or leave it. Okay, kids, you may have seen over the weekend that Woj reported that the Sixers decided they wanted to keep James Harden and try to run through a championship with James Harden joining Joel Embiid. James Harden is in China doing a press junket and said this morning, quote, Daryl Morey, president of the Sixers, is a liar, and I will never be part of an organization that he's part of. Let me say that again. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be part of an organization that he's part of. Take it or leave it. Harden is with the Sixers this year.
Oh, take it. Ain't that his boy?
Not anymore, I guess.
That was his guy.
Yeah, I know. That's why he went to Philly.
Yeah, they were. That's intriguing.
Yeah, I saw that video and I was very confused. Like if something had happened.
Here's the thing:
in between
Harden's unhappiness with Morey stems from the lack of a long-term max-level deal, and the team is risking Harden's arrival at training camp by bringing anything but a championship mindset with him. So I would think that he'll, like he did with Houston, like he did with Brooklyn, he'll force his way out of Philadelphia. This is a great player. I mean, who knew that James Harden led the league in assists last year? He's still a really good player. I don't know if you can win a championship with him, but he's a nice player to have on your team. Yeah. But that being said, he also, to me, has a ton of baggage now because he's never happy.
It's tough to watch. It's tough to watch them. It's tough to watch him. And, you know, he's a very good basketball player, will be a Hall of Famer. Had a run that I think was one of the best runs, a 4-year run where he was just scoring points like a madman. But it is winning championships don't feel like it's going to happen with James Harden.
Oh, one more thing. Take it or leave it. If he shows up at Philadelphia's training camp, he shows up fat.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
Fat suit James Harden.
Yeah.
Fat suit James Harden. It's
they
so
said
true.
He had a fat suit on.
I believe it.
The way he looked when he left.
He lost 20 pounds in a day.
And it's always been brought up, too, but it seems like he doesn't think of it as an issue.
Oh, James Harden seems like he's a guy that is outside.
He's all about James Harden.
Yeah, so the Steelers got a 27-17 win versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers preseason
we'll
game. Very good. Mason Rudolph went 7 for 12, 132 yards and a touchdown. Take it or leave it. You didn't even know Mason Rudolph was still on the roster.
Ooh, I'm going to take that. I did not either. I had no idea, honestly.
I will go a step further.
I
don't think he should be on the roster
as well.
What, did you hear that? When he did it in a preseason game?
When I looked at the stats, I said, Mason, I don't know, what the hell is he getting back on the roster? I thought he was gone. He is holding on, man. Hats off to him.
Maybe Myles Garrett did that just because he didn't think the guy deserved an NFL helmet.
I don't know.
If you're able to hang around, though, we were talking about this on Friday. If you're able to hang around the NFL, being a backup quarterback or just kind of there, that is the job. Like Blaine Gabbert, his job that he's had being the backup to Tom Brady and now Patrick Mahomes, that is the job.
So I do this, and I know tons of people do. There is the immaculate grid. Okay, Carey did it.
Yeah, you guys love that.
The first four names I always think of are Gus Frerotte, Chris Chandler, Chase Daniel, Matt Hasselbeck, because they've all been all over the place.
They have. Yes.
names.
Yep, it's a great place to start with those backup quarterbacks.
All right, take it or leave it, guys. Luke and Baker, hopefully we'll see him this week playing because, you know, it's not a guarantee that he will be in any lineup that Ollie Marmol produces. But take it or leave it, he's going to hit a home run this week.
I'll take it. He's going to. Yes.
Come on, Carey. Join us.
Is he going back to Memphis?
No, he's going to be here.
I don't know if he's going to get an opportunity. Where's he going to play? He only plays one position.
That's okay.
The guy we got there is an MVP.
Plays two positions now.
Days off.
The other guy can, just to get him off his legs for a day or two.
Yeah, you know, give him a day off. DH.
I'm gonna leave it. I may be in the minority.
He hits a home run against the A's.
You think he's just going to be heating up that bench, huh?
Well, I don't know. I don't think he's gonna get enough opportunities.
Well, we'll have to.
But he hits a lot of home runs, so maybe he doesn't need that many opportunities.
He'll hit one either Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday against the A's or Thursday against the Mets.
Ooh.
Luke.
I'm going to say soon. I want it to be against the A's.
Take it or leave it. Ollie, for one game at least, needs to have Baker and Newt Barr hitting back-to-back. Doesn't matter which is which, but so that we can go Newt and Luke.
Can we get Taylor Motter in that lineup too?
Yeah. I got a picture. I did a selfie with Taylor last night.
Yeah, he looked fantastic in his suit.
It was a Vegas themed night, and he had a playing card jacket.
Very nice.
Nice. Yeah, with the long hair flowing too.
I'll put that up on the socials.
Tomater.
Tell me what social I should put it up on.
Put it on
X.
The Insta?
No, is it X?
It's called X.
Do we not call it Twitter anymore?
No, not anymore.
X marks the spot now, unfortunately.
Is that the name of it?
I'm
we don't
still
call
not
it
used to it.
Twitter?
It'll take a while.
Because even when you type it into your phone, it comes up as X.
Is this like Prince changing his name to a symbol?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what was it? It was just a symbol,
known
right?
as
formerly known as Twitter. The way that Elon Musk has changed Twitter, or to X, excuse me, it's like if you ask like a 13-year-old boy to do the marketing for this and like design, it's just an X. It doesn't even look, I don't know, it looks strange to me.
Seems weird.
I miss Twitter and tweeting.
And by the way,
So what are we doing now?
a great
Xing?
human being.
Xing.
He's a great,
Just doesn't
great
sound
guy.
right.
Did you X today?
I'm Xing right
I
now.
don't like that. That sounds weird. That sounds weird.
Okay, putting it up on the Bradford Bruns in for Matthew Rocchio. What do you got for us on the text line?
From the 314, everybody, the Cards need to trade 2 position players to create consistent playing time. Take it or leave it, 2.
Which
Trade
2?
2 position players to create consistent
Well,
playing
I
time.
As in the
suggested
offseason,
earlier,
yes.
so not necessarily trade, but what if O'Neal and Carlson are both not on your roster to start next season?
That frees up some spots. Well, it frees up the cluster in the
opportunity.
outfield.
Yeah.
You guys are going to play every day. But then you just throw Tommy Edman out there and make it
Yeah, I'll
more.
take it. Well, I still do think that you're going to have to at least get, and I would hope, a starting pitcher, if possible, via trade. That's going to require a position player or 2. And that
Who are
would
you,
free up
who
some
are you
space.
willing to trade, though?
God.
Because that's the... when people put that out there in the universe, they trade 2 people. You know those 2 people, one of them is going to be Nolan Gorman for a starting pitcher. Just want you to get over that. If you're going to get an ace, one of those people is going to be Nolan Gorman. Now, if you can stomach that, then we can start there. Because if I'm an opposing team, why the hell do I want Dylan Carlson and Tyler O'Neill? No offense to those guys, if they're often hurt.
So you're saying...
I think they are great baseball players, can be very, very good. You can't trade those 2 people for a starter because they are always often hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how it works. You don't get to trade away something that you don't want for something great that you want in return. It's not like that's not how it works.
So why not? So you're saying I can't package O'Neill, Carlson, Taylor Motter?
Nope.
Maybe I'll throw in Burley.
For Dylan Cease, the Chicago White Sox would hang up.
Back in the day, we traded Bud Smith, Placido Polanco, and somebody else for Scott Rowland. We traded a guy I love, TJ Matthews, probably listening right now. I don't even remember. Might have been. I don't even remember who the other guys were that we traded. I think we might have traded Ryan Ludwig's brother Eric for Mark McGwire. Kind of forgettable guys. We traded Kent Bottenfield and Adam Kennedy for Jim Edmonds. We can do it. It can happen again.
Yeah.
Look at the guys we traded for Nolan.
Can you do it
Arenado.
for a starting pitcher?
Hope so. You just got to have a little sizzle. You got to sell. You got to be a salesperson. Oh, you're going to love these guys.
Sizzle.
Yeah, you're going to love them.
Your
trainers will too.
Car salesman.
He's right on the edge of playing 145 games a year. Right
there.
on the edge.
Hey, we got to sell some lemons. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not how it works. I don't think.
I met a guy last night that sells insurance to insurance companies. It's pretty cool. By the way, if you follow me on the X, I guess it's still twitter.com. But I've got the picture with Randy Karraker and I think what am I? RJ Karraker on? Yeah. No, at Randy Karraker. At Randy Karraker on the Twitter machine.
I'm showing people on the tube too.
Thank you.
Can I be honest? I didn't recognize him at first.
Oh, but
when you sent the
fabulous,
photo.
Yeah. So anyway, TJ Matthews. TJ Matthews with a text. Eric Ludwig and Blake Stein. See? And those are the 3 guys we traded for Mark McGwire. Thank you, TJ. I love TJ. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Speaking of sizzle, take it or leave it, Wilson Contreras should know better than to pimp a home run in a 6-run game versus Kansas City.
No, the game has changed.
Do your thing.
Yep.
Yeah, why not?
What difference does it make? I mean, as much stuff as that man has been through this year, every time you hit the ball hard, enjoy it.
Yeah. And what are the Royals going to do?
There's
That's a great question.
There's that. Are they going to throw it up and in the next time?
461.
You guys been getting the hell beat out of y'all, as have we. So what difference does it make?
Let's do one more.
One more. We've got, let's keep it baseball themed. Take it or leave it, guys. The Cardinals sign Aaron Nola to a 5-year, $125 million deal. Maybe a little too low. I don't know.
Feels like it.
Yeah, I'm going to
Yeah, that feels.
7 and 130. Or no, 7 and
Yeah,
7 and 210. I'm sorry, 7 and 210. Right. So that's 7 times 3 is 21. $30 million a year.
Oh, 7.
7 and 210.
$25 million a year ain't going to get it done. You're going to be in the
$25 million a year is not going to get it done.
30 to 33
And he's going to have a
range.
lot of suitors as well.
Yeah.
So
28 to 33 range.
Yeah, it's because after Ohtani, it's him and Snell, and then kind of a fall off to Marcus
Sonny
Stroman.
Gray.
Sonny Gray.
I'm still not sold on the Sonny Gray.
Here's the thing about Sonny Gray.
experience.
Sonny Gray is great if two things are in play. Number one, if your team sucks and you have no expectations of winning.
Well, then, Randy.
And number two, if you play a 5-month season.
Oh.
Okay? But you get to September and you get to the playoffs, and Sonny Gray's not going to be there for you. So if that's what you're into, he's fine for the Twins, because the Twins haven't won a playoff game since 2004. He'll be perfect in their rotation.
He's 33 years old.
He was fine with the Reds.
Yeah.
What happened when he went to the Yankees? Well, he was fine with the A's, where there were no expectations and no fans in the stands. What happens?
The Twins are going to be in the playoffs this year.
And they're going to lose again. All right? He was fine with the Reds. I'm telling you,
pressure.
If you're one of the people that complains about the Cardinals not winning or not concerning themselves with winning in the playoffs, you better not want Sonny Gray. And I'm sure that he's a wonderful human being, but there's a lot of wonderful human beings that don't want starting a playoff game for me. Or in September. Here, I've got a phone. You want to give me a second here for talk amongst
so amped up.
Talk amongst yourselves.
So essentially, Randy's saying that he can't handle the pressure situation. And he's 33 years old.
Sounds like
and also size-wise, he's not that big.
No, he's a little fella. You're right.
A little fellow.
Yeah. So a couple of things. Number one,
5'10".
Yeah. He's pitched 11 years in the majors, 96 and 82 with a 3.52. When there was the pressure of winning in New York, he was 15 and 16 with a 4.51. His other stops, Minnesota, they aren't going to win 3.06. Cincinnati, they weren't going to win 3.42 or 3.49. Oakland, they weren't going to win 3.42. So he's fine in making sure that he's pitching in places where there's not pressure. Okay, the other part of his career, and again, this is not a personal affront to one Sonny Gray. I'm sure that he is very kind to puppies. But, okay, you just go through the months, okay? April and May, game level for his career. April and March, 0.77 earned run average. 3.91 in May, 3.95 in June. And then you get to July. Oh, I'm sorry, that's this year. Let me get his career numbers. But he's not been very good this year either, actually, in August. But, okay, career numbers. Come on, computer. Anybody having trouble with their computers?
It is moving a little
We were
slow.
talking about that.
I gotta get to the. Okay, but here we go. Earned run average 3.15 in March and April. Okay, good. 3.15, 3.64 in May, 3.81 in June, 3.61 in July, 2.65 in August, and then you get to September and October, 4.41. 4.41.
What happens in September and October, Randy?
Well,
in baseball.
They start playing. It's a different sport. 12 and 18 with a 4.41 in September and October in Sonny Gray's career. So, again,
Randy,
all due respect.
All due respect to those numbers, we got to get to the playoffs right now. We if he can get us there, hell, I'll take him.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, though, because there's a lot of people that are not happy with just making the playoffs. They want to win in the playoffs.
You know what those people would be happy with this year? Making it to the damn playoffs.
Well, yeah, but
And do you want him to get the ball game 1, game 2?
We want Aaron Nola. I'm pounding the table.
Can I give you one other one?
Sure.
I hate to do
Go
it.
ahead.
No, I'm not going to.
You don't hate to
You
do
were
it.
piling on Sonny Gray from Smyrna, Tennessee, might I mention. 15 minutes out of
And
my
by all accounts,
hometown.
just a terrific human being. 0-2 in playoff action, or no, in his career. Yeah. He's been in the playoffs a couple times and does not have a win in 4 career starts. So, anyway, there
great.
you go. No.
But he has been there. He'll be there again this year.
Yeah, a lot of guys have been there.
Watching.
I mean, we have a lot of guys that have been there. We'll get back there. If I'll tell you what, Cardinals, make the playoffs and you're we again.
If not,
you're
it's
they.
you.
You're there. Yep.
Those guys.
Yeah.
Yep. That's how we look at it.
Okay, that's enough. I've done enough.
You got the Sonny Gray out of your system?
Yeah. For
No
now.
longer gray inside?
I feel better.
That's good. It's very therapeutic.
Coming up, how has Steven Matz transformed himself into a sure thing for next year? That's next with our Fresh Take coming your way on 101 ESPN.
Dive deep into Cardinals baseball with a Redbird Report podcast. Hosted by World Series champion Brad Thompson. It's BT with nonstop Cards talk on the Redbird Report podcast. Download and listen to the podcast right now at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app.
Hey guys, Hoffman Brothers has been serving St. Louis for over 40 years. Best known, of course, for heating and air conditioning. But did you know that Hoffman Brothers, they added plumbing and drains and sewer teams back in 2011? And for over 12 years, my friends at Hoffman Brothers have been providing repairs and replacements from everything, including sewer lining and clogged drains to water heaters and sewer repairs to installing faucets and toilets. They do an amazing job. All you need to do to set your appointment is go to HoffmanBros.com, HOFFMANN, HoffmanBros.com. And I am part of the club, and if you want to be part of the club, the Home Protection Plan Club at Hoffman Brothers, you need to give them a call and get involved for as little as $34 a month. They'll take care of everything. You'll move to the front of the line. You'll have a wonderful experience with Hoffman Brothers, and they're going to send you filters for your heater and your furnace and your air conditioner. You'll just have such great experiences with Hoffman Brothers. Give them a call and join their club right now at 314-664-3011. Hoffman Brothers, heating, cooling, electrical, plumbing, and appliance repair.
Running a small business takes grit and determination and a communications provider that's got your back. That's Spectrum Business. Fast, reliable communication solutions that keep your business going. Get 300 megabits per second internet, just $49.99 a month when bundled with Spectrum Business Connect, the all-in-one phone system that lets you work from anywhere on any device. And get a free mobile line for a year. Visit spectrum.com/go faster. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
Diesel mechanics in the St. Louis area, listen up. It's time for your skills to pay the bills. Missouri Central School Bus Company has full-time positions open right now. Enjoy a great salary and benefits, weekends and nights off, a tool allowance, and a 4-figure signing bonus. Join a shop where the technicians are appreciated and the money is sweet as honey. Apply at yellowbustech.com. That's yellowbustech.com. yellowbustech.com. Diesel mechanics, it's time for you to get paid.
Get ready to run. Don't miss the 5th annual Gateway PVA 5K on September 9th at Tower Grove Park. Whether you're a seasoned runner or just starting out, this is the perfect opportunity to challenge yourself and have fun. The event will boost needed support for paralyzed veterans throughout the Gateway area. Participants can run, walk, or roll a 5K or 1 mile. All participants will get a t-shirt, and the top 3 5K finishers in each age group will win a medal. Every 5K runner is chip time so that all the results are official. To register, go to Facebook or runsignup.com and search for Gateway PVA 5K. Sponsored by Coforma.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. There's a common misconception that all attorneys are created equal, but that's just not true. Most attorneys are not a one-stop shop. They're not equipped to handle complex trucking accidents, serious construction injuries, or catastrophic claims, let alone fly in an engineering team to reconstruct an accident and prove its cause. There is a difference.
Onder Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Call 314 or 618-9000 to learn more.
Hey, it's Cardinals pitcher Dakota Hudson. There's nothing like getting a win. And I got one, a big one, when I went with Window Nation. Just like over 150,000 homeowners who've already saved millions with low price, high quality Window Nation windows, along with energy savings and higher home value. Not to mention how nice they look. Save right now with this.
Get 50% off any style window, plus pay nothing for 2 years.
Step up to the plate and call Window Nation now. 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis. 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return. Live from the Car Shield studio, this is the opening drive on 101 ESPN. A fresh perspective on the day's top stories. It's the opening drive's Fresh Take.
Brought to you by Schnucks Rewards. Reward yourself. Earn 2% back on every purchase with the Schnucks Rewards app.
Yeah, I think he's put it together where we're not saying, let's see if he can repeat it. This is who we were hoping to see all the way through. So he's done a nice job. it looks different, but he's holding it. Like, this is who Matt's is. But he did a really nice job. A lot of pitches for strikes today. Had all of them working, kept the guys off balance, gave us 6. So, yeah.
That's the Cardinals skipper, Ollie Marmol, after Steven Matz's terrific performance on Saturday night. The Cardinals with the 5-4 victory, and Matz, for his part, went 6 strong innings. He allowed 2 runs, both earned, walked none, and struck out 5 in his 6 innings of work, and gave the Cardinals a quality start. Got the win, improved to 4-7, and also improved his overall numbers for the second half to 4-0 with a 2.16 earned run average since the All-Star break. 33 in the third innings. He has struck out 29 and walked only 7. And we're getting to that point now where it's a month past the All-Star break, and I'm kind of starting to believe. I kind of think that this is the pitcher the Cardinals thought they were getting that had pitched in Toronto the year before he came here as a free agent.
Yeah, he's performing really well. And, when we talk about it, I talked about it all year to begin the season. It's on the players to perform. This is the Steven Matz that they thought that they were going to get. This is the Steven Matz that showed up in spring training and was performing really well. He was pitching really well, doing a really good job. So if guys do their job at the level that it is expected, yeah, you are happy. You are thrilled because he's getting paid $11 million a year to be a starting pitcher in your rotation, not to be in the relief, not to be in the bullpen. And so he's coming out. He's done a really good job going 6 in his last 4 starts, giving you those innings. And he threw 94 pitches, threw 103 pitches his last outing before that. He's doing a really good job for this Cardinals team right now.
And everybody's talked about it, too. He just looks a lot more confident out there. That sounds so simple, but this looks like a different version of Steven Matz, where he looks more comfortable, confident out there, throwing with more conviction. And even Ollie Marmol, the Post-Dispatch, in the article this past weekend, he said he's put enough starts together where we're not saying, let's see if he can repeat it. This is who we were hoping to see all the way through. He's done a nice job. I do think that that's very telling, that it seems like at this point they feel comfortable with including him in that starting rotation talk for next season. He's not a name that you're putting in pencil possibly anymore. In pen is what it seems like they're putting him in.
And Matz has always had decent velocity, but it's better now. But his key is his sinker, and Marmol talked about the change in that pitch since he came back to the rotation.
It's keeping guys sped up with it. It's a really good pitch. He can pitch at the bottom of the zone with it. He can get some swing and miss at the top of the zone with it. The games that he gets a lot of swing and miss, it's up top. But today he was able to steal a lot of strikes with the curveball, and he had that going for him, and then mixed the other 2 well enough to get through 6. But, yeah.
Okay, so it's only August 14th, so we have more time to determine. But a month ago, I was saying the Cardinals needed to sign 3 starting pitchers, and maybe Steven Matz was a bullpen piece. Right now, and I reserve the right to change my mind again, but I think the Cardinals need a number 1. Michaelis is number 2. A number 3. I'm going to go with Matz as my number 4, which is pretty good based on these numbers. Number 4, and then somebody from among Libertor or CD-Rom or Zach Thompson or McGreevy or whomever. I've got a rookie battling for the number 5 spot next year. So right now I'm talking about importing 2 starting pitchers.
I think that's a great idea, and the question is, how do you get those 2 pitchers? One, obviously, you want to do in free agency. You want them to spend some money on a guy that can come in and be your ace. And then the other one is probably going to be via trade. I mean, you're going to have to move someone that may hurt. It may not feel good to get that starting pitcher, but we've found out that this season is all about pitching. If you don't have the pitching, no matter how well you perform at the plate, it's not going to allow you to have success. And that's pretty much been, the issue for this team. Also, Randy, to your point, one of those young guys be the 5th starter, but 2 of those guys, probably at least 2 of them in the bullpen. You get those guys some opportunities to grow in a relief situation, in a relief role where they're not an everyday or not every 5th day starter, and they can grow into becoming a starter. We saw it with Adam Wainwright. That, to me, feels like the best way to go about getting your young players involved in the game, but not having to have that everyday pressure or that every 5th day pressure of being a starter.
And I can give you one guarantee for 2024. The bullpen will be significantly younger longer with multiple pitchers that have options so that you can rotate them between Memphis and here. The bullpen was just too old with not enough options for the 2023-2024 game. So you're blowing out your bullpen, but you don't have a chance to bring up fresh arms all the time this year.
And we were talking about recently, especially at the trade deadline, where it was very clear that the Cardinals had kind of an issue when it came to pitching depth in the organization, especially when you looked at the prospects. Now you were able to add in some pieces via those trades where that bolsters your prospects that you have, those possibilities of coming up. Drew Rom is somebody that I can definitely see having some role with the Cardinals next season, whether that could be vying for you're talking about one of those young pitchers, maybe vying for one of those roles, or even a bullpen role. There's a lot of possibilities there where you have more of those options now that you were able to get via trade for guys that were gone. You're essentially just renting them out for 2 months. I think that that's huge for the Cardinals to be able to bolster things when you're building ahead for next season.
That's today's Fresh Take. Coming up, the voice of the Blues here on 101 ESPN. Chris Kerber will join us. We're about a month away from the start of training camp for your St. Louis Blues that you can hear here on 101 ESPN.
You want to say something? Then say it. Use the mic drop feature in the 101 ESPN app. Search the 101 ESPN app now in the App Store or Google Play.
Here we are on Monday morning. Hope you had a nice, relaxing weekend. But if you had a relaxing weekend and you woke up and you were already fatigued, that might be an issue with low T. Guys, as we pass our 30th birthday, I've talked to you a lot about this. Our testosterone level drops, and naturally, our energy level drops. And that physical stamina you have to get through a day just isn't there. And sometimes you're working 9 to 5, and you get to about 2 in the afternoon, and you say, man, I am just worn out. Well, you should call Mentality. Get in touch with them at lowtusa.com. They have clinics in both South County and Chesterfield. And get on over there and get your testosterone level checked. And if it is low, and if you're beyond the age of 30, I can almost guarantee that it is, they have an FDA-approved testosterone treatment that will be applied every week, and it will make a difference for you. It's made a difference for me. It's provided my energy level that I have and enjoy, and I think everybody around me enjoys the energy level that I have, too, because I was one of those guys that was always fatigued and tired all the time. It'll make a difference for you. Go to lowtusa.com. At Mentality, they'll work with your insurance company so that you pay low out-of-pocket, if any, out-of-pocket expenses, and get that energy level back at Mentality.
Great legacies don't happen by chance. They're built with strategy, experienced guidance, and a vision for the future. Have you outgrown basic financial advice and are ready to start your legacy? Let's chat. Plan Corp, redefining wealth management through one simple value. Always do what's right for our clients. Complex financial planning for families and businesses right here in St. Louis since 1983. Plan Corp is your financial life advocate and now accepting new clients. Visit startmyplan.com to get started with a complimentary 2-minute plan analysis.
The Morning After Daily Podcast, one of the longest running podcasts in St. Louis.
It's either Mike Lee or Randy.
Hey, who's anchor tonight?
Yeah. What do you think the Blues will do?
Hey, you gonna talk to the coach? Tell him good luck.
Think Sam Bradford get back?
Tell him good luck.
Who won NASCAR?
He's always doing
good luck. I'm not going to tell anyone good luck.
He's always talking
I'm not going to see Kevin Harvick on my way home.
Find the Morning After podcast at tmastl.com and at podcast1.com. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra.
You can pretty much find a job anywhere, but finding a lifelong career can be much more difficult. You like working with your hands? Working in different environments? Having options for different kinds of work within your career? Then the Construction Craft Laborers Union of Missouri may be for you. Don't just settle for a job. Build a career. Build a future. Build a legacy. Go to buildunion.com for more information. That's buildunion.com.
101 ESPN has your chance to score tickets for Eric Clapton. September 12th at Enterprise Center with special guest Jimmy Vaughn. Tickets for Eric Clapton are on sale now. Get all the ticket details and get entered to win tickets for Eric Clapton right now, either at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app.
Hey, it's BK. I got to tell you about my friends over at Apache Village RV. Alex, growing up, I was not the guy that was going out camping or anything like that, but my dad loved taking us on our trips across America, and the way that he did it, we drove. Now he has upgraded his lifestyle. He has gone and got himself an RV. It's a motor home that we use, and when we go on trips, that's the way we travel. It is something that I didn't know I was going to enjoy the way that I do, but now I'm a part of the lifestyle, and I want to tell all of our great listeners out out there how they can become a part of the RV lifestyle.
Yeah, be a part of the Apache Village RV family. Third-generation Meyer family RV business. They've been in business for over 40 years, and they're trying to make your RV buying experience possible. It's located in Hazelwood with 8 acres of inventory. Go one better. Go Apache Village RV Center.
Go see them today. They're located in Hazelwood, super easy to find, and you can let Apache Village RV make you a happy camper.
This is the opening drive on 101 ESPN. Brought to you by Sumner One.
Brooke, Carey, and Randy, and Chris Kerber, the voice of your St. Louis Blues here on 101 ESPN, joins us as he does every Monday. Kerbs, good morning. How you doing?
Randy, I'm doing good. I forgot I had a chiropractor appointment this morning, so I'm getting worked on while we're talking.
I love this.
Over at the Performance Chiropractic there with Mike Murphy and crew. So
hey, tell Murph I said what's up.
And me too, yeah. So
yeah, I'll tell them for you guys.
A while ago, Kerbs, I had a bad back.
When did you have that, Randy?
About a week back.
I cannot. Kerbs.
And Murph.
Kerbs. I can't believe they did that to you.
Yeah, Murph changed my life. He's great, man. If you have a sore back, go to Mike Murphy. So I'm glad you're getting worked on, and I'm glad you're doing this show with us. And Kerbs, it's amazing. Here we are. We're about a month away from the start of training camp.
We are about a month away, and, this is the kind of time where people will ask me all the time, like, oh, are you excited? Hockey season's coming. I'm like, yeah, I'm excited. Hockey season's coming. I'm like, don't rush it. Because I know right about December or January, you're going to go, man, what happened to August? So, but, yeah, it's amazing how quick it is. You've got some guys that have started to come back into town because kids are, beginning school and all that. So, It's an exciting time of the year, and we got Colton Parayko's golf tournament coming up here in a couple weeks. So there's a lot going on.
Kerbs, Scott Perunovich is somebody that I'm very interested in this season. What do you think his role will be with the team?
Who's that, Brooke?
Scott Perunovich.
Oh, listen, Scotty's role is going to depend on a couple of things. One, his health. Can he stay healthy? And, I talked to him last season about this, and he never dealt with injuries in college. So this first 2 years of pro has been a real eye-opener for him and a real challenge. So there's that part of it. His role is going to be clearly on the power play in one respects, but the size factor is another. So I don't know that both Torrey Krug and Scott Perunovich fit in the lineup at the same exact time, especially knowing how Doug and Craig like taller, bigger defensemen. So I think his role might depend on who else is in the lineup, who's available, and how that goes. I still think one of the big questions they're going to have to figure out, guys, is this logjam on defense. You just have too many defensemen if everybody's healthy. Now, that never happens where everybody's healthy for a long period of time on defense in the NHL, but that is the way it goes. So he's going to have to kind of scrap for some playing time in my mind.
Kerbs, we were talking about Adam Wainwright earlier in the show, and just watching a player that has been so great in the Cardinal uniform towards the end of their career, not performing at the level that they have been. When you see players in that role, I think of like Al McInnes. Obviously, he missed his last year because of an injury. But when you watch players that have been so great throughout their entire career and they just don't have it towards the end of their career, how do you talk about that in broadcasting or when you're doing the show or doing a game?
That's a great question. You know what? I think a lot of it, like I was at the last home game that Adam Wainwright pitched at, right? And yeah, tough to see, but I was still excited to go there and watch him pitch, right? And if I get a chance to see him on the mound at Busch Stadium here down the stretch, I'm going to go to those games and watch him because I still appreciate him as an athlete. When you're doing the games, you just have to know and you just accept that the guy isn't quite what he was, but what is he? Alexander Steen in the end wasn't the top six forward that he was, for such a long time with the Blues, but he brought so much more to the table. And especially if you're a broadcaster and you're around the team, you appreciate the person as much as you appreciate the athlete. So when they're at the end, you just enjoy those final moments of getting to watch them play, to be honest with you. And yeah, it's not going well. You do question, should he take the mound in this, much more in the starting spot. But to me, You're losing anyway as a team. You're no good this year as a team. You put him out there, and if he catches fire in a bottle once or twice more and gets to 199 or 200, that's great because there's not a whole lot else to root for. So to me, I love it every time he takes the mound, and I'm rooting for him every time he takes the mound.
Curbs, I want you to put your blues-colored glasses on, and I want you to go Sunshine Lollipops for me on this group of lines.
Okay.
And so let's just assume everything goes well. You've got Thomas between Kyrou and Buchnevich. You've got Shen between Kapanen and Vrana. You've got Hayes between Neighbors and Saad. And then you've got a fourth line of Sonny with Toropchenko and Blais. How do you like that group's upside?
You know what? I think, Randy, if we're high on hopium, if we're high on hopium, I'm pretty good with that. I'm not so like the challenge. The only challenge I have with that is from a second line standpoint. I know what Braden Shen's going to bring, but what are those other two going to bring? So honestly, if we look at the top six, I know the effort that we're going to get from Thomas, and I know the effort that we're going to get from Buchnevich. I know the skill we're going to get from Kyrou. Are we going to see a little more defensive focus on his play, just in terms of awareness? And that doesn't mean that you've got to be a Selke Trophy winner. It just means if there's no play, put the puck in deep so you don't hurt the team. Okay? It's really that simple. I don't know yet what Kapanen and Vrana bring defensively. So when those top two lines are getting the heavy matchups, are they going to be able, those three guys in terms of Vrana, Kapanen, and Kyrou, are they going to be able to handle the heat? And that I don't know yet. Now, putting my blues-colored glasses on and getting high on hopium, if they do that, you're going to have a pretty solid front, top six, and you'll have a solid, forward group. So I do like the idea of what you put together.
And I love that fourth line, by the way. If Sonny is healthy, and that's a big if, but Sonny with Blais and Toropchenko will be the quintessential Craig Berube fourth line.
Randy, that's a fourth line that you could play 12 minutes a game.
Yep.
And you get back to a little bit about, what you had 4 or 5 years ago when you could play. You remember, like Barbashev, okay, look at it and go Barbashev, Sonny, and Steen. Is it really a fourth line, or is it really more your third line? And sometimes because of penalty kill, they get 13 minutes a game. So I think that's the kind of conscientious line that you could very easily get, 10, 12, 14 minutes a game and get third line full minutes if the third line isn't going. So I like what you put together on the fourth.
Curbs, I was listening to Jamie Rivers, I think it was last week or maybe a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about defense from the forwards. And sometimes you're not always going to get great defense, maybe from like a Brett Hull or some of those elite scorers. Is there a point where you could say, okay, Jordan Kyrou, we know you're not going to give us as much on the defensive end, but you got to be scoring. Is there a point where you can reason yourself and be okay with that?
Listen, I don't ever remember Patrick Kane being nominated for many Selke awards. I don't remember too many people griping about his back check when they're winning 3 cups in 6 years. Do you?
Yeah.
Now, so no, you're right. Not everybody fits that bill, but you still have to make smart plays with the puck. You like Patrick Kane would hold on to the puck. You couldn't get it off of his stick in the offensive zone. He might circle in that twice. Okay. And Jordan Kyrou has that kind of skill. So do it. Instead of trying to turn the puck over or trying to make a move at the blue line, chip it in deeper, just behind the defense. Use your speed, get him, draw a penalty, those kind of things. Sometimes when we talk defensive side of things from a forward, we're not talking about how you're defending in your own zone. We're talking about what you're doing with the puck to protect the puck in the offensive zone, and that's where he needs to be better.
Curbs, how you feeling now?
Dude, I got heat on me. I got stim on me. These guys have been great. So, short of a different type of hopium, I think it's fine.
Good.
Listen, hey, Randy, I'm all pumped up. I'm leaving with 2 buddies on Wednesday. That's why we're getting this done today. Flying over to London. We're going to go over to see Tim Ream play for Fulham at the Cottage. And then we're going to try and check out Chelsea against West Ham on Sunday. So we've got a great, guys trip coming up to London to see some Premier League action and Fulham play with Tim Ream.
That is spectacular. Have a great time. And so can we call you in London on Monday?
Yeah. We fly home on Monday, but yeah, call me whatever. I think it'll be middle of the night. We'll be up.
Okay, we'll do it. No, it's let's see. It should be the afternoon. We had Chip
6
on
hours.
from London. So
you know what? Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, it's ahead, isn't it? So
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
It'll be perfect. I'll be at the airport.
Okay, sounds good, Curbs. Have a great trip. Have a safe trip, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Have an awesome week.
See you later. That's the voice of the Blues, Chris Kerber, joining us. And we need a fighter, by the way, for the fight. Text in your name and the word fight to 314-399-9646, 314-399. Yo-ho! And the fight is coming your way next in Curbs. You mentioned Murph. Murph is unbelievable. Murph kind of kept Steven Jackson on the field. Great chiropractor. And Steven, you all saw what happened to Steven, and Murph did an amazing job keeping him on the field. Did he keep you on the field, CD?
I didn't start seeing him until I believe my career was over.
Oh, okay.
But he would have.
Yeah.
You would have kept it going, though, right?
Yeah, I got to go see him. I have to turn. I don't know, when I turn around, I do a whole body turn instead of just turning my neck.
Yeah.
It's a little sore.
If you are thinking about a chiropractor, this is a free plug for Murph. He's great. Performance chiropractic. So
Nice.
there you go. Brooke?
Yeah, sure.
Are you a chiropractor person?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'll go. Maybe.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah,
If you're ever
maybe.
sore,
That's a good job.
you never know.
Yeah.
All right,
Especially if you got a bad back.
But how long do you have to wait before you go to him?
About a week back.
There you go.
You see, I was trying to avoid any back talk.
Uh-huh.
You see what I just did there? I was trying to avoid any back talk.
There you go. I like it.
We got it in. The fight is next on 101 ESPN.
Coverage of 101 ESPN is presented by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. GetJim.com.
The extracurricular activities, the traffic, the nightly homework, the traffic, the finding time to eat dinner together as a family, the traffic. Back to school can be stressful. Thanks to Ziploc, meal prep doesn't have to be. New Ziploc bags with Stay Open design have a patented stand-up bottom that helps keep the bag upright and a top grease that folds and holds for easy filling, unlocking a second set of hands in the kitchen. If only it unlocked a second set of lanes. New Ziploc brand freezer and storage bags with Stay Open design from SC Johnson, a family company.
Hey everyone, it's Brooke here. This past winter, my father went through hip and then back surgery. After being active his whole life, biking and competing in triathlons, as he got older, the wear and tear led to constant pain and limited mobility. But finally, after getting surgery, he is back to moving around pain-free. He even visited not too long ago, and he was able to get around great. He says that he wishes he would have done it sooner. You might be in a similar situation, just continuing to put it off, but anyone who has suffered from serious back or joint pain knows how hard it can be to find lasting relief. Here's the thing, though. You don't have to live in pain. You can find that relief at SSM Health Orthopedics. They are the experts at diagnosing and treating joint problems, offering many treatment options, including non-surgical techniques to find the best solution that works for you so that you can get back to doing the things that you love. So don't wait today. Visit SSM Health/Top Ortho. That is SSM Health/Top Ortho for more information and to find that lasting relief.
Hey, boss, what's got you so down today?
We just lost another customer to Diamonds Direct. Guy's been with us for years. Went over there and, well, now he's in love with those people. I don't know what they do.
Want me to go secret shop Diamonds Direct again, sir?
Remind me what we learned the last time you did that.
Well, you know, they're really good, sir. They got like 10 times the selection we have. They have those top designers that we're not allowed to carry. They're telling people the inside secrets on how to buy diamonds. They give free service on stuff like cleaning and sizing, the things you charge extra for. And they're nice people. Everybody's smiling over there.
Okay, stop. I know. It's impossible to compete with Diamonds Direct. I mean, even my accountant just upgraded his wife's engagement ring there and got her a 3-carat.
Wait a minute. I thought your brother was your accountant.
He is.
Are you getting all you deserve from your jeweler? You might be surprised. Maybe it's time to get the value, the selection, the quality, the education, and the service you deserve at Diamonds Direct. Get details, showroom hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Need a new door? Not sure what to do? Call the tried and true Mosby Blue. Want quality work from an expert crew? Call the tried and true Mosby Blue. To make your home look brand new, call the tried and true Mosby Blue. Mosby Building Arts. We do doors.
Sponsored by BOS. Rent is due, but you're stuck in a canoe. For last-minute expenses, you need a bank like BOS. They make it easy to send money from anywhere, so you can meet the moment with bold confidence. BOS. Bank boldly. Member FDIC.
Anthony Stalter back with my guy, Stewie. Stewie, I want to buy a house right now, but I'm freaked out about the rates. Should I buy a house? And in fact, why shouldn't I?
You know what, Anthony? You should buy right now, and here's the reason why. Later on, rates are going to drop. Everybody's going to come out of the woodworks. They're going to want to buy the houses. The inventory isn't going to be there. It's going to be worse than it is today. You're going to end up paying $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 over the asking price. It's going to be a repeat of the COVID days. Take advantage now, and then you can refinance later with the bagel loan, no closing costs. You'll be way, way ahead of the game.
So you still got the bagel loan. You could still close in less than 2 weeks.
That's right. And you know, when you're dealing with realtors and they tell you to go to their lender, this is the biggest investment you're going to make in your life. You ought to get a second opinion. How can you not get a second opinion? Give us a call. Compare us to what everybody else is doing. You'll see you get the same or better rate with no closing costs.
That's Stewie, 314-324-4440. Again, 314-324-4440, or you can Google the bagel loan.
NMLS number 226715.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy. You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year. At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with a link.
Okay, smart.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Be a part of the show. Text the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation text line at 314-399-9646 on 101 ESPN. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Carlson's service is not in the cards for A Series. Good morning. I'm Bradford Bruns, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. St. Louis and Oakland set to kick off a 3-game set downtown tonight, but Dylan Carlson will not be a part of the proceedings. The outfielder placed on the IL prior to the Cardinals series finale in KC over the weekend. It's a left oblique this time around after Carlson missed significant time earlier in the campaign due to an ankle sprain. On to the matchup, though, at 6:45 p.m. Miles Michaelis opposes J.P. Sears. The Redbirds, of course, split their I-70 showdown against the Royals. Other evening baseball, the white-hot Braves host those scuffling Yankees, and the Pirates travel to Citi Field. First place Milwaukee is off. This Sports Center update was brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Live from the Car Shield studio, this is the opening drive on 101 ESPN. Welcome to the fight. In the red corner, Average Joe Listener. And in the blue corner, the undisputed king of morning drive. Please welcome Randy Karraker.
Welcome back to the opening drive. I'm Carey Davis, joined by Brooke Grimsley, and it is time for the fight. And our fighter today is Alex. Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Carey.
Oh, Alex is a great name. That is my middle name, Alexander.
Mine is Alexandra.
When you go to Starbucks, right?
I do. How'd you know? I told you that. I said that. That's what I use every time. Alex. That's
and
what I say.
So you're Alexander, I'm Alexandra, and then we have Alex on.
There we go.
Nice. Look at this.
Well, we're rooting for you, Alex. Don't tell Randy Karraker that, though. You ready to go?
Sure thing.
All right, here we go. Tonight, the Cardinals and the A's clash in an opener of a 3-game set downtown. In 1989, Oakland, under Tony La Russa, swept San Francisco to win the World Series that was interrupted by the Loma Prieta earthquake. Who was the MVP of that fall classic? Was it Dave Stewart, Jose Canseco, or Ricky Henderson?
Let's do Ricky Henderson.
Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs will open their title defense by hosting the Lions on Thursday, September 7th. Name the Chiefs' all-time leading scorer. Is it Tony Gonzalez, Priest Holmes, or Nick Lowry?
Tony Gonzalez.
Over the weekend, Tony Parker was among the luminaries inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. The former Spurs great still owns the franchise mark for career assists with 6,829. Who comes second on that list? Is it Tim Duncan, Avery Johnson, or Manu Ginobili?
Let's do Manu Ginobili.
Only 3 NHL organizations have qualified for the postseason 70 or more times. Montreal and Boston are 2 of these teams. Can you tell us the third? Is it Toronto, Detroit, or Chicago?
And what was the question again?
Only 3 NHL organizations have qualified for the postseason 70 or more times. Montreal and Boston are 2 of the teams. Can you tell us the third?
And then what's the answers again?
Toronto, Detroit, or Chicago?
Let's do Chicago.
All right, we are making sure we have the correct scores, and Bradford is going to run outside to go get Randy Karraker. Alex, how you feel?
Well, that one was a little bit different.
Well, and so typically Rockio does the questions, and so these are Bradford Bruns questions. So
we get to peek inside the mind of one Bradford Bruns.
Everybody has different ways that they approach these questions, which is kind of fun to see, too.
Bradford, you threw me off because you walked around, you had the headphones still on, but they weren't attached to anything. I was so confused.
Lots of moving pieces today, Carey. Lots of
moving pieces.
Randy is back in. He did have a Mountain Dew earlier around 8 o'clock.
Yeah, still got it. Same
he's
one.
still about a fourth of a way through with it left. Randy, say hello to Alex.
Alex, good morning. How you doing?
Doing good, Randy.
Good to have you with us.
So, Randy, my middle name is Alexander. Brooke's middle name is Alexandra. And we have Alex. So we may or may not be rooting for the Alex on the line today. Just want to give you a heads up.
You pretty much root against me every day anyway, so that's fine. You don't have to find reasons for it.
You beat down people every day, Randy. I want a fair fight, man.
I apologize.
Here we go.
I really do.
No, you don't. Tonight, the Cardinals and A's clash in an opener of a 3-game set downtown. In 1989, Oakland, under Tony La Russa, swept San Francisco in the World Series that was interrupted by the Loma Prieta earthquake. Who was the MVP of that fall classic?
You remember how one part of a double-decker highway fell on top of the other?
Yes.
So, we had a guy. I was telling this story. It's funny. I was telling this story the other day. We had a guy that predicted an earthquake here in St. Louis, a guy named Dr. Ivan Browning.
Predicted
Predicted an earthquake.
I remember that.
And so it was supposed to be, I think, in 1991. So this was the 89 World Series. And one highway fell on top of another in the Bay Area. So it was double-decker highway. So I made it a point as I was driving downtown to work at KMOX to be on the bottom level of Highway 40 on the Poplar Street Bridge at the exact time that earthquake was supposed to, just to taunt Ivan Browning a little bit, say, this ain't happening. And it didn't happen.
It didn't.
But that World Series obviously was delayed because of the earthquake. And in a sweep, Dave Stewart had the opportunity to start a couple of games. And I believe he may have started the clincher for the A's. And I think Dave Stewart was the MVP of the 1989 World Series. Remember how his cap, you couldn't see his eyes?
Mm-hmm.
I love Dave Stewart.
I do too.
All right. Question number 2. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs will open their title defense by hosting the Lions on Thursday, September 7th. Name the Chiefs' all-time leading scorer, or all-time scoring leader.
All-time scoring leader for the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe, and I remember this because he actually was with the St. Louis Rams for a cup of coffee. I think it was Nick Lowry, who I don't know who got hurt, and he landed here. But I don't even know if he wound up kicking for the Rams. But I think that, former Ram number 8, I believe, Nick Lowry was the all-time Chiefs scoring leader.
Over the weekend, Tony Parker was among the luminaries inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. The former Spurs great still owns the franchise mark for career assists with 6,829. Who comes in second on that list?
Well, I'm thinking it's probably a point guard. So I'll do the lifeline.
Tim Duncan?
Probably not a point guard.
Avery Johnson or Manu Ginobili?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't Ginobili. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Duncan. I will go with Avery Johnson.
Final question. Only 3 NHL organizations have qualified for the postseason 70 or more times. Montreal and Boston are 2 of the teams. Can you tell us the third?
Okay, so they're obviously, you've got the original 6. The Rangers would seem to be out of this. I just kind of think that the Red Wings and Blackhawks are out of this too. I think for me, it seems like it almost has to be the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm going to go with Toronto. Hey,
Toronto. All right, we got after a great weekend that Randy had, slept well, rested, didn't do much work, as he said.
Didn't do much, no.
Did he come into the fight well relaxed and ready to beat down another contestant, or did Alex, who Brooke and I were quietly rooting for,
because is he Alexander the Great?
There you
Not
go.
very quietly.
Because he came. Did Alex get a chance to ruin Randy's Monday?
The winner and still champion of the fight, Randy Karraker.
The fight is presented by Golf Discount of St. Louis, with the most experienced club fitters in town. Why shop anywhere else?
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
And as you can hear,
can you turn up the replay machine over there?
We had
you have the
delayed Jack Buck, but you hit all 4, Randy.
Oh, thank you. Good.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
And then, just win, baby.
Just win, baby. As you heard, Jack Buck, Randy did get all of the answers right. We'll run them down. Tonight, the Cardinals and A's clash against clash in an opener 3-game set downtown. Oakland, under Tony La Russa, swept San Francisco to win the World Series. That was interrupted by an earthquake. The MVP of that game, of that series, was indeed Dave Stewart. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs begin their season opener on Thursday, September 7th. The Chiefs' all-time leading scorer, Randy said it. He remembered that Nick Lowry was here and remembered his number. How the hell do you remember that? Over the weekend, Tony Parker became inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. The Spurs great still owns the franchise mark for career assists with 6,829. In second place on that list is indeed Avery Johnson. Tim Duncan is only 249 behind Avery Johnson. So he's almost there. And the only 3 NHL organizations have qualified for the postseason with 70 or more times. Montreal, Boston, and Toronto was indeed the 3rd team.
So here's an opinion I have. I think that in their era that Shaq was the most dominant player. Mm-hmm. But I think that all around, Duncan was a better player than Shaq was. Shaq, because Duncan could hit free throws, he could. Yeah. No doubt that Shaq was more dominant, and Shaq in a one-on-one would beat Tim Duncan. But in terms of playing a team game, I think that Tim Duncan was a better all-around player.
I'm still going to take Shaq because if I want to know I can throw the ball inside and he's going to go dunk on somebody. Now, he's probably going to get fouled, and he may hit 56% of the free throws that he takes. But, hell, one is better than none, so.
Yeah. No doubt. And it's kind of a weird dichotomy because one is, I think one's just a better player, but one is more dominant than the other.
Yeah.
But there was no more dominant force, maybe ever in the history of the league, than maybe Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah. But Shaq, man, when he played, he was scary for everybody else.
Was. Alex, thank you for joining us today. Great job, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex, with us on 101 ESPN. And that is the fight. Next up, we've got Birdwatch. Stick around.
Catch the balloon party with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson. Weekdays on 101 ESPN from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for the fastest hour in sports radio.
Driven by Munganast Acura.
Now batting leadoff, your local expert for all things basement-y, Woods Basement Systems. Today is game day for the Birds, and you know what's worse than a cracked bat? A crack in your foundation. You man here called Woods Basement Systems, the experts to fix that wall crack or wet basement. Don't let that foundation wall crack ruin your basement like a cracked bat on a nice swing. Fix that crack so you can focus on cheering for the Birds. Get Woods and get a free estimate. They're the highest rated, most reviewed contractor for all things basement-y. Go to getwoods.com.
Hey, there's some great things happening in St. Louis, and that includes the amazing Bommarito Automotive Group 500 that's coming up at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And you can get tickets when you go to www.raceway.com. And it really is a spectacular event on the St. Louis sports calendar. And I think you need to learn about it because if you get out to the Bommarito Automotive Club 500, you're going to love everything about it. They have a new viewing area down before the race, actually down on the on the track that you'll be able to check out. And when you go and you get to the Bommarito Automotive Club Automotive Group 500, you're going to feel the sound of the vehicles. It's one thing to see the sound of the vehicle or hear the sound of the vehicles. It's another thing altogether to feel the sound of the vehicles. So here's what you need to do. Just make sure that you head out there, get your tickets at www.raceway.com. It's one of the great events on the St. Louis sports calendar, and you will love it. Hope to see you out there at Worldwide Technology Raceway coming up on August 26th and 27th. It's the Bommarito Automotive Group 500.
In a world where down payments are out of control.
But I've only got $29.
You need Frank Lita Mitsubishi in the automotive outlet in Bridgeton. Hop in if you want to live.
Really?
Nah, I'm just being dramatic.
Big down payments have met their match. At Frank Lita Mitsubishi, every vehicle is $29 down. $29. Stop. You need $2,000 down.
Frank Lita wants to get you approved, even if you've been turned down elsewhere.
Every vehicle is $29 down. And you get a lifetime warranty, no charge.
We're not going to make it!
Spoiler alert, we're here.
$29 down.
$29!
With 2.9% financing, 2.9 for 60 months.
At Frank Lita Mitsubishi.
In the automotive outlet in Bridgeton.
YesLita.com.
YesLita.com.
23 Outlander Sport, 28.7, 29 down, $515 a month for 60 months at 2.9% APR, plus tax tag title to qualified buyers.
This is my fave time of year, when downtown glows up into a sea of red. I'm seeing red everywhere, even at McDonald's. New Frozen Cardinals Mix is new frozen Fanta Strawberry on top of frozen Fanta Blue Raspberry. Right now, I can get any flavor frozen drink, like a frozen Coke, any size, for just $1.89. There are drinks, then there are drinks from McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Coca-Cola and Fanta are registered trademarks of the Coca-Cola Company.
When it comes to flavor, more is always more. And McDonald's is serving up more for less when you order yourself a delicious triple cheeseburger for just $2.99. Take a bite of 3 stacked patties made with 100% pure beef, seasoned with a touch of salt and pepper, and topped with tangy pickles, chopped onions, ketchup, mustard, and 2 slices of that classic melty American cheese. Like I said, more is more, so get more of the faves you love only at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Running a small business takes grit and determination and a communications provider that's got your back. That's Spectrum Business. Fast, reliable communication solutions that keep your business going. Get 300 megabits per second internet, just $49.99 a month when bundled with Spectrum Business Connect, the all-in-one phone system that lets you work from anywhere on any device. And get a free mobile line for a year. Visit spectrum.com/go faster. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
This is the opening drive on 101 ESPN. Brought to you by Sumner One. We're flying down to the field to give you the latest on your St. Louis Cardinals. This is Bird Watch on the opening drive.
It is time for our Bird Watch. The Cardinals off yesterday on the heels of a victory over Kansas City on Saturday, and they open a 3-game series against the Oakland Athletics tonight at the ballpark, and then the Mets come to town over the weekend. But let's get things started with Brooke's Bird Watch.
My bird watch is going to be Tommy Edman and how well that he has been doing, especially lately. I just thought it was a cute story. So we, of course, saw the 2-run shot from this past weekend. It was his wife's birthday that day, and he said that she mentioned that she wanted a home run for her birthday, but she wasn't expecting 2. But either way, that's just very sweet. I think he's also already harnessing the dad power. So him and his wife are expecting a child, and it seems like we've talked about it with Nolan Arenado, other guys, like the dad strength coming in. Maybe that is something that plays into it, but I'm just excited for Tommy Edman. I think he's a great player, great athlete, somebody that I hope the Cardinals continue to see the value in him, and I think he's proved it, especially offensively here lately. If you look over his last 4 games, 7 for 15 with 5 runs scored, 3 homers, and a pair of doubles, and this is 2 when we're talking about him getting moved all over the place, right? He was center fielder, he's your shortstop, and the way that he's been able to adjust discussed, but I don't think it's coincidence that now that he's getting more of that defined role as the Cardinals shortstop, that he's doing a little bit better offensively.
And he's going to have his streaky moments, right? We know that there's going to be some droughts with Tommy Edman, but is he a player that you can win with? Absolutely. No doubt about it. You just have to pick your spots, and it's going to be tough for Ollie and Turner Ward to know when he's going into a little bit of a funk and then when he looks like he's coming out, because when he's hot, you want to hit him at the top of the lineup, and when he's not, you want to hit him at the bottom of the lineup.
I think he's going to play every day somewhere. Yeah, I mean, at somewhere on the Cardinals team, some position.
And I think he's going to, I agree with you. I think he's going to have an everyday position. I don't think they'll move him back and forth between second base and center field.
Yeah, I agree. Well, my bird watch, it's not a pretty bird watch. We're going to talk a little bit about Adam Wainwright and his last couple of starts. He's 4 innings pitched in his last 2 games that he's played, 18 hits allowed, 15 runs allowed. His last start only went 1 inning, gave up 8 runs on 9 hits, and it's no walks, but just not able to get guys out right now. And I'm sure he talked about it. We listened to it in the opener, just the frustration that is associated with his play with him right now, how frustrated he is. I do believe he still has a little bit of juice left in the tank. He's going to have to squeeze it all out to get out of these innings and to get into, the 5th inning, the 6th inning to try to get that win, because he does. And I'm sure everyone on that roster, every man on that roster knows that 200 is right there. He wants to get to it. Cardinal fans want him to get to it. His teammates want him to get to it. But he's going to have to perform better in those outings in order to get to that number.
Yeah, it's like he said, I know there's a lot of people that are sad for me right now. Mm-hmm. And he also said, look, nobody's sadder about this than I am. But hopefully his positivity and his history, his ability to solve problems will step forward in these last 6 weeks of his career. Not everybody, but he thought that his career was over in 2018, and he came back and he's turned in several exemplary years. By the way, last year being one of them, 7th in innings pitched in the National League, 14th in earned run average, and people didn't want to bring that back. I don't know why. But he's turned in several exemplary years because he can figure it out. Hopefully he figures it out over the last 6 weeks here.
That's what I would hope that most fans are taking away. And we have gotten a lot of positive texts coming in where people say that they want to see him get to 200. And I'm sure if you ask, not that the players are the ones that make the decision, but I mean, even remember just the looks on some of their faces when, Adam Wainwright is able to get out there and, come out with a great performance. You can see that they all want it too. I'm sure if you asked around how they all felt about it, they would want to keep sending him out there too. And it seems like Ollie Marmol feels that way too.
Yeah, absolutely. Ollie wants, and I think the organization wants to get him those 2 wins.
I mean, it's an important number, right? He's done such a great job for this Cardinals organization. He's been really the standard of what you want a lifelong Cardinal to be. He's got the battery record with him and Yachty. Like, those are records that record will never be broken. But he wants this. This is a personal record, and I get it. When you're as good as he's been, as great as he's been, you expect to perform that way every time you get out there. And it's just unfortunate that we're not seeing that product, because I know he still believes it's there, and we want to see it happen.
It's amazing. If he had only had 1 year where he missed the whole year, he'd be well over 200 victories. You look at the years that he did miss, and 2011, that's a year of his prime. 2015, basically a year of his prime, and then 2018 and the COVID year, 2020. But man, so in those 4 years, 2011, he missed the entire year. 2015, he only made 4 starts before he suffered the Achilles injury. 2018, he only made 8 starts. And then obviously in the COVID year, he's limited to 10. So he's missed out on, let's see, 30, 25, I'm doing the math in my head here, not smart, 35, 45. So he's missed out on probably 50 major league starts. Mm-hmm. If he would have missed half of those, and they were in his prime, he'd probably have another 15, 17 wins under his belt right now. Right.
We already had 2 texts coming back-to-back that were very similar from the 314. Says, a lot of people didn't want to bring Wainwright back because, as you can see, this is why.
Well, I don't know why they think that their evaluation process of veteran pitchers is better than people whose job it is. I think they're fortunate that they had that confirmation bias and they hated Adam Wainwright and they didn't want him to succeed. But I did, and I'd seen Adam do it before, so that's why I believed in him. And I watched last year. I saw the 3.27 earned run average. I saw the 191 innings. I was watching, and he didn't have awesome stuff last year, but congratulations if you saw this coming. And
you alone.
Mike Gerst. Well, Mike Gerst sent emails to every major league team saying, "Hey, okay, here's what I got for you. You got to send those emails and say I saw this coming."
Oh God, the Cardinals will love you for telling them to send them a bunch of emails with that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they already get that too.
Yeah. Right. Guys, here's a fun fact for you. The Major League average earned run average this year is 4.31. Major League average earned run average 4.31. Tomorrow night, Dakota Hudson pitches for the Cardinals. Guess what his earned run average is?
4.031.
4.31. Yeah. League average. He's 3-0 in 3 starts this year. He obviously he had a rough time in the minors. And here's the thing tomorrow night, and we love our buddy Tom Ackerman, who's going to be doing play-by-play for the Cardinals and the A's this week. But if you want to preserve your sanity, Dakota Hudson is pitching.
Consume him without watching? What
yes, you have to consume Dakota Hudson's pitching performances without watching. That's the key, because he is going to provide a representative league average performance for you in terms of his earned run average and in terms of his ability to give the team a chance to win. But is it going to be pretty? Absolutely not. So don't watch it. Just take it in.
We want to watch baseball, Randy.
Watch somebody else tomorrow.
I just think it would be absolutely
But
hilarious
Randy.
if he tosses like 8 scoreless, and it's just for no reason.
Yeah, but 8 scoreless with probably 5 walks, and
Randy, we love baseball. We want to watch Dakota Hudson. We need us fans need to know who our 5th starter is going to be, and how are we going to know it if we don't watch it?
And Carey, the key is to know that you're going to Six Flags, that you're on a roller coaster, and it's going to be a glass case of emotion throughout the course of the night.
Oh, man.
All right?
Come on.
You know what you're going to be dealing with. You know what you're in for. Watch at your own peril. But know that your team, at the end of the day and at the end of Dakota Hudson's performance, is going to have a great opportunity to win. I personally think...
Are you not watching?
Oh, well, I'll see the last couple of innings. I'll watch the highlights.
Randy, didn't you say... Wait, let's go back to Sonny Gray just for a second.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
I want to say this. One more Dakota Hudson point. I think he's underrated by Cardinal fans. I think now, is he a number 1? Is he a front of the rotation guy? No, but I think he should be squarely in the hunt for that number 5 spot in the rotation next year.
Okay, so earlier, Sonny Gray, you mentioned that you looked at his numbers once it got later into the season. Dakota Hudson performing better later in the season?
Well, for Sonny Gray, there's a track record, an 11 or 12 or 13-year track record of this.
Yes.
For Dakota Hudson, he hadn't pitched many Septembers, and he had the injury, so it's different for him. If he gives us, if we get to 4 or 5 or 6 years, and he's that way, I would be frustrated. But I can tell you this: I would take Dakota Hudson's career Septembers over Sonny Gray's. And I think I told you, Gray, 12 and 18 with a 4.5, 4.6 earned run average in his career in September. In Dakota Hudson's career in September, he's 6-1 with a 2.80.
Oh.
Yeah. He actually, I think, probably handles.
So Dakota's better than Sonny Gray. That's my takeaway.
The pressure
from here.
Of September.
If I'm trying to win, yeah.
Put Sonny in.
As Tony La Russa would say, I know he's got the stomach for it.
I did not know that.
Yeah. TLR was big on having the stomach for it. I'm not so sure Sonny Gray does. I'm pretty sure that Dakota Hudson does.
So you like Dakota as your 5th man in the rotation next year?
I think he should be squarely in that competition with Thompson and Liberatore.
Okay.
I do want one of those young guys to be my 5th starter, and then another guy can be in the bullpen preparing like you like to be a starter the next year.
You're going to get 2 of them in the rotation next year.
Well, at some point, yeah. No. And you know what?
Start the year off.
And they aren't, well, I guess they're going to technically be rookies. 1982, the Cardinals won the World Series with 2 rookie starters, with LaPointe and Stuper. You can do it. And the really young starters with Kepshire and Cox in 85, they went to the World Series and should have won. And, in fact, Coxey should have won the World Series clincher in Game 6. That was, he threw 7, I think, maybe it was 8 shutout innings. And the Cardinals didn't win it. Danny Cox was a stud. He's one of my all-time favorite players. So that's, no question that Coxey, he had the stomach for it. So there you have it. I have given my review. I do.
Tell us how you really feel about Dakota and Sonny Gray.
Well, okay.
I was being sarcastic. I feel like we gathered that.
I know you're being sarcastic, but I'm not. So Cardinals, you're always accused of saying all they want to do is make the playoffs. They don't care about the playoffs. All they want to do is make the playoffs. You can prove that to me if you sign Sonny Gray. If all you want to do is make the playoffs and you don't worry about winning in the postseason, sign Sonny Gray and I'll know. Coming up next, the Rush Hour Reset on 101 ESPN.
Blues hockey is on 101 ESPN. Get the inside scoop on and off the ice with the Last Minute Blues podcast with Jamie Rivers and Donnie Fandango of 105.7 The Point. Blues opinion, talk, and speculation. It's what we do. Download the Last Minute Blues podcast on the 101 mobile app or at 101ESPN.com.
The baseball season is heading into the backstretch. Get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000.
That's right, Brooke. Up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Just go to FanDuel.com/drive to join today. Hey, watch out for the Texas Rangers and Max Scherzer. I like that pick.
And the Cubs are making an interesting run, but I still think the Brewers are going to come out on top in the NL Central, guys.
And I'll tell you a team to look out for if you want some value. Look at those San Francisco Giants. They haven't been great of late, but they can pitch, and they've got the postseason pedigree.
Don't miss your chance to get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 when you join FanDuel today. Just go to FanDuel.com/drive to sign up.
FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. Must be 21 plus and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The new Essentials Light Trap uses light to attract, then trap flying insects like fruit flies and mosquitoes, turning your home into a restricted airspace. For insecticide protection that's people and pet friendly, get new Raid Essential Light Trap.
What summer really feels like.
My back is literally sticking to the couch.
Turn the heat down on summer with Air Alliance Team. The savings are hot right now. And with 24/7 emergency service, you're sure to be comfortable all year. Online at airallianceteam.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. When you've been injured, you only get one chance in court. One chance to protect your family and future. You need the firepower to do it right the first time. At Onder Law, we understand what's on the line, that the outcome of your case can impact your life for years to come. If you're facing a legal battle, don't leave your future to chance.
Onder Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Call 314 or 618-9000 to learn more.
Counting down the minutes in your boring job, but still need a way to pay the bills? Add some excitement to your day by working with Keystone Event Staffing. Employees at Keystone Event Staffing work in St. Louis's most popular sporting and concert venues, so you always have a memorable shift. To apply, visit us online at KeystoneEventStaffing.com or call 314-878-7200. That's KeystoneEventStaffing.com or 314-878-7200. Keystone Event Staffing. Better people mean better events.
Check out the Bach About It podcast with Brooke Grimsley and Cardinal Spanish language broadcaster Polo Asensio on 101 ESPN. They're not balking around. Watch Bach About It on our YouTube channel or listen to the podcast now at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 mobile app. Where St. Louis gets its sports. WXOS HD1 East St. Louis, 101 ESPN. Live from the Car Shield studio, this is the opening drive on 101 ESPN. It's time to recap the biggest sports stories of the day on the opening drive with a Rush Hour Reset.
Brought to you by Clubhouse Turf, your exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens. We're redefining private golf.
9:07 in St. Louis, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Cardinals still have not announced a starter for Thursday's game against the Mets. That would ordinarily be the Adam Wainwright start, but obviously Waino did not have a solid or even a good outing in his 1-inning, 9-hit, 8-run outing on Friday night in Kansas City. And afterwards, Waino was very realistic and raw about his performance.
I didn't have anything tonight. I didn't have good stuff. I didn't have good location. When I did, they still found holes, and just was as a non-competitive day for me. It just really let our team down, let our fan base down today, and just got to be ready next time. That was atypical of what I've been feeling. And I had a couple good starts in a row where I felt like I was really building, and then these last two have really been disappointing. So I got to figure out why I'm feeling so much better on my bullpen days than I am on my start days. This last time was the best time I felt all year on my bullpen day. Yesterday, a little flat ground session, got on the mound a little bit just to feel things out. Man, I was really confident. So, I don't know, man. I keep getting surprised by these outings, Just keep thinking I'm going to turn the corner and be great for this team down the stretch, and then just let us down again. So,
just to play devil's advocate here, because we did get a lot of text reaction. You definitely stirred the pot a little bit, Randy, when you brought up the fact that if you saw this coming, that basically you need to tell us the lottery numbers that could be coming up, because it would be hard to predict. But just playing devil's advocate here, do you think that this could be a product of him possibly returning too soon? When I'm talking about when he took that break, remember, from injury?
Oh, yeah, it could be. And he very well, when you have a shoulder injury, and he didn't have any shoulder issues last year, but when you have a shoulder injury, especially at his age, it is very difficult to come back from. Remember last year down the stretch, he had the injury that caused, and when you get older, you have injuries. And that he had an injury that caused his stride to shorten. And then he had the injury lifting weights at the end of the WBC. But are you folks telling me that you wouldn't want Justin Verlander on your team next year? I mean, that's ridiculous. 2 years ago, Justin Verlander had Tommy John surgery and then came back the next year and won the Cy Young Award. It's you can never tell. Like, these people are telling me they wouldn't want Shane McClanahan on their team anymore because his last few starts weren't good before he got hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, so tell me now what Shane McClanahan is going to be when he comes back, okay? I want to know. And the other thing is, if you had this foresight, like if you knew that Taijuan Walker was going to be great for the Phillies and that Nathan Eovaldi was going to be great for the Rangers. If you knew that, why didn't you go to the Cardinals and say, I know this, and here's my history. I've got this documented, backed up, and I can tell you definitively that I knew exactly what was going to happen with these pitchers. If you can do that, then you should be running you should be in Vegas, or you should be picking lottery numbers.
You should be in Vegas.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You should, yes.
I think
everybody would love to talk to you, huh?
Yeah.
With Adam and his injury, no one saw this coming. I mean, we talked to him after last season. It was after he got hit by a ball. I think he kind of figured out that was what caused his stride to shorten up and wasn't getting to the delivery spot that he was accustomed to, and didn't perform well down the stretch. And we thought coming into this season, he was going to be okay. Then he had a groin pull to start the season that started him on the IL from working out at the World Baseball Classic. So this hasn't been an ideal season for him. We've seen some good, and we've seen a lot of bad. But I don't know if it's about rushing back from an injury too soon. I just think it's, once you get older, and the main thing that he said is people told him when you start thinking about retirement, it's pretty much you're at the end of it, because that's the hardest thing to do. The hardest thing is to trick yourself every single day to get up and go work out as hard as you can. And the moment you tell yourself, not today, or I can do it tomorrow, it's over. You're at the end of your career, and it's hard to get that mindset back to, I can do this every single day. And I used to want to get up and go work out. And then when it got to the point where I was like, I don't have to do that today. And it just, your mind shifts to something that it has never been before. And I think that that's where Adam is right now. And hopefully he can lock it back in for at least 2 more times to get 2 more wins.
And he's talked a lot about mindset. When we've talked to him and also in his post-game and pre-game comments, it's very interesting because with what you're saying too, CD, is there's these constant reminders that this is the last time he's going to do everything, that he's going to do all this. And so that's what's going to be very interesting is that sorry, I was trying to pull it together. It's okay, Bradford, it's okay. But it happens. Back to what I was saying, but Adam Wainwright, I'm sure having those constant reminders, you notice that he doesn't have people talk to him about it a lot. Remember, like Jim Hayes, he's only allowed to ask like a certain amount of retirement questions with Adam Wainwright, because I'm sure he is trying to block that out, because once it gets in your mind that this constant, you're going to be done here soon, it's hard to get that out, even if you're trying to keep that mindset of, no, I just need to focus on going out there and pitching and trying to win for this team.
That's Brooke, that's Carey, I'm Randy, and that's today's Rush Hour Reset on 101 ESPN. Coming up, with the injuries that the Cardinals have incurred, do they kind of have to reimagine the trade packages that we thought about from a couple of weeks ago? That's next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for a DraftKings at Casino Queen Redbird report with Cardinals TV broadcaster Brad Thompson.
We're getting to the time of year that is the best time of year to play golf and improve your golf game. And the best way to improve your golf game is by getting a celebrity green from Clubhouse Turf here in St. Louis. A green that's synthetic but putts true and gives you real grass performance when practicing your putts and chips and bunker shots. It's really the only company to call in St. Louis at 314-834-2343 or find them on the web at clubhouseturf.com. And in addition to their tour quality celebrity golf greens, Clubhouse Turf also offers a complete line of synthetic turf installations, including sport turf, playgrounds, pet turf, and lawn turf. If you have brown spots in your yard from your pets or areas where you simply can't get the grass to grow, Clubhouse Turf has the solution, and it's incredible. It's durable, easily maintained, and sustainable, and literally pays for itself. All you need to do to improve your golf game or just have an easier grass to maintain is get in touch with Clubhouse Turf. Clubhouse Turf is the official partner of Celebrity Greens here in St. Louis. Their number, 314-834-2343, on the web at clubhouseturf.com. The Cardinals are going to have to go out and find themselves a number 1 and a number 3 starter during the offseason. We assume that one of those is going to be a free agent acquisition. We assume that because John Mozeliak said he can't fill out his rotation outside of free agency during this offseason. So they're going to sign at least one free agent. If they get one in a trade, do the Cardinals have to change their approach in finding that starting pitcher? We've seen good things lately from Dakota Hudson. We've seen good things lately from Matthew Liberatore, who a lot of people around baseball think can be great, and Zach Thompson. Does this, Brooke and Carey, if the Cardinals have to make a move, change your opinion about people like Graceffo and McGreevy in terms of moving them? And the reason that I ask this question is because we've seen good things, obviously, from the 3 aforementioned guys. We've also seen what happened with Alex Reyes. So while we may be in love with a guy like Gordon Graceffo, you always have to be cautious because the Cardinals, if you go back to 2017, they expected that for 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, they expected that Alex Reyes and Jack Flaherty were going to be the number 1 and 2 guys in their rotation. Mm-hmm. And they both dealt with numerous injuries and were never what they were expected to be. So with that history, and granted, Sandy Alcantara has happened, Zach Gallen has happened. If you're looking for that starter to win now, do you have the guts to move a guy like Gordon Graceffo, who has tremendous front of the rotation quality stuff?
Yes, there's the upside there. I just still think going into next season, you need 2 starting pitchers. Specifically, I personally believe a number 1 and number 2 starter. And then after that, Michaelis, and then Matz, I believe, has worked his way back into the starting rotation conversation where you're not going to have him move back to the bullpen unless something else happens next season. But I'm very happy with his performance as of late. And then you let that competition for that 5th spot play out with Matthew Liberatore, Zach Thompson, and even Drew Rahm as somebody that I think is very intriguing, that I think will definitely be a part of that conversation.
That's CD for you and I, Carey.
Yes, of course, it is. Yes. There's balloons. Oh,
101 ESPN.
I'm sorry. I got so distracted as we were talking about that, but how could I not? This is beautiful.
There's an arch. It's a balloon setup.
CD's face.
Randy Karraker.
What is that?
Radio man on top of...
Oh, my.
Today is not...
No, my birthday isn't until Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But happy birthday.
Happy early birthday.
That's pretty amazing.
This is extreme. I need everybody to go on YouTube to see just how distracting that this was, because there's even a Randy balloon at the top.
You got to move it back. Hold on.
CD. This is beautiful. So this is a birthday present?
It is.
This is great radio, huh? Where everybody.
Okay, yeah, you got to be on the YouTube. We'll put it on the. We will also. Oh, this is amazing.
Well.
So I have some friends that are quite fun.
This is absolutely beautiful.
There you go.
Okay. Well, we'll send a picture of it so that those of you that aren't seeing it on the YouTube right now
forgot where we were.
have an opportunity to see it. We were talking about what trades the Cardinals could make and whether or not we have the guts to move a guy like Gordon Graceffo or Michael McGreevy.
So just to round it up, yes, I do think that you need a 1 and 2 starter. Personally, I believe that, just so I feel comfortable going into next season. 1 via trade and 1 that you're going to have to pick up in free agency.
So I don't think that the Cardinals... I mean, free agency is one thing. Will they be willing to spend? And what number will they be willing to spend? That is going to be one of the most important things. Are they willing to go above and beyond for an Aaron Nola, who I think seems to be the prize free agent outside of Shohei Ohtani, which I don't think anyone in this room thinks the Cardinals are going to actually pursue.
No.
So I think Shohei...
But I'm going to get a tattoo if he comes to St. Louis, CD.
I will, that would be awesome.
That's enticing, right?
I don't think you have to worry about that.
Never say never, right, Randy?
Never say never.
There you go. But then free agency, so looking at an Aaron Nola, we talked about Blake Snell. I don't know if the Cardinals would be willing to trade anything or anyone that they think is going to be something special in the future because of the fear of Randy Arozarena, the fear of Sandy Alcantara, of Zach Gallen, because of what took place when they traded those younger guys that maybe didn't have the opportunities that they should have had here. You trade them away and they have the success that they're having. I think the Cardinals may be a little bit, hesitant to do that.
I think so too, but at the same time, you think, and obviously not everybody's going to stay healthy, but if you have to sign 2 guys as free agents, or you don't trade one of those young pitchers to get a person. You're going to have controllable pitchers in that guy you sign as a free agent, the guy you get, and then Liberatore, Thompson, McGreevy, Graceffo. Matz is going to be here for 2 more years. Michaelis just signed to an extension for 2 years. So you're going to have, well, you can't have too much pitching, but you're going to have what you think is high-quality starting pitching that isn't starting pitching for you.
Which is why I feel that they'll probably go out and make a push in free agency, and then it might not be the guy. They may not get a guy that you want because the I don't see the Philadelphia Phillies just letting Aaronola walk away without a fight.
They're a franchise whose owner said, we are prepared to spend stupid money.
There you go.
So then the question becomes, if you don't want to move those young starting pitchers, is Herrera or Kisner in play? Obviously, Dylan Carlson's still in play. Is there any value with 1 year left on his contract for a guy like Tyler O'Neill? Brendan Donovan's hurt. You don't know what he's going to be like for the beginning of next year. So where does the value in your organization come from to go out and make a trade?
It comes from one of those guys that's going to hurt to see leave. It's going to be one of those minor league pitchers that we haven't seen come up yet. It's going to be a Nolan Gorman or a Brendan Donovan, on as a trade piece for one of those guys. That, to me, is the only thing that I think would entice another team to make a move if they have a controllable pitcher that they could get rid of.
Yeah, a painful point trade that you're going to have to make. But you do have some log jams. You have some depth at certain positions. So if you are saying that you want to, look ahead to next season and build towards that, you still have Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt here. Once again, keeping those two here signals to me that you are trying to make this change happen quickly. Yeah. So you're going to have to make some painful trades in order to do that.
You've got to try to win now, and it is going to, just like when you went out and got Marcell Ozuna, it's going to hurt. And oh, by the way, Carson Kelly was DFA'd by the Diamondbacks.
So we won that trade because there's nobody left from that Goldschmidt trade for the D-backs.
Luke Weaver, Carson Kelly, and Andrew Young were the 3, and that was 2019. So Cards win.
I have 4 people on my do not touch list.
Okay.
Obviously, Goldin, Arenado. And then I have Jordan Walker, and I have Nolan Gorman.
Mason Wynn?
Well, he's not here yet. I'm talking about people that are here on the roster right now.
Okay.
Mason Wynn, once he gets here, but on the roster right now, that's including pitchers or anybody. Those are the 4 people, and I know that probably pains Brooke to hear because I didn't mention one person in particular. Sorry.
Well, here's the thing: they already said they see him as a part of 2024 for this organization.
They said that about Dylan Carlson last year.
They did hold down hands, Dylan Carlson, and they even said center fielder of the future, right? That's
life comes at you fast, brother.
Well, and with this injury, you talk about diminished value. For him, with the injuries that he's dealt with, and not only does he have the oblique now, but Carey earlier in the season, I think he was dealing with a back.
When did that happen?
About a week back. So
I'm going to pop all these balloons. I'm going to pop all these balloons.
We got to see Tim Grieper just going crazy.
My alter ego.
So, but anyway, I believe O'Neill has diminished value. I believe Carlson has diminished value.
Brendan Donovan just had surgery.
Yeah, so when you make a deal, you might be selling low, which is always a dangerous proposition.
And you don't get a lot back for that. It's... I know Cardinal fans, we look at our team with rose-colored glasses. We want to believe that we have the best players in the entire league, and it should be an honor for us to trade to you, and you should definitely take Tyler O'Neill, and he's going to be – that's not how everyone else is looking at it. No. They're looking at guys, Tyler O'Neill, who missed some games because he had knee soreness. They're looking at Dylan Carlson. Yeah, he has a lot of talent, but – why isn't he playing every day? Those are real questions because if he's that talented, he would be playing every day. Same thing with Tyler O'Neill. He would be playing every day. Oh, they're injured or they're not performing at the level that we think that they should or that other teams think that they should. So you're not going to get much in return unless you put something in there that teams really are enticed by.
And if the Cardinals are able to fill their needs this offseason, either way, it's going to be loaded with intrigue because they're either going to have to spend unprecedented money for them or they're going to have to trade people that in the past they haven't been willing to part with. And that's major league stars, potential stars, or Major League ready stars.
Exactly.
So it'll be a really intriguing offseason. And oh, by the way, they're still trying to win a few games. As was mentioned on the text line earlier, the season isn't over yet.
We had a couple people say that they wanted to remind all of us in here the season is not done and we shouldn't be speaking in such a manner.
No. You beat the A's 3 and you beat the Mets 3 or 4, and then you just win like 16 or 17 more in a row. Then all of a sudden you've got a race.
It has happened.
It has. That's Brooke. That's Carey. I'm Randy. Coming up here on 101 ESPN, we've got NFL news and notes for you. Hey, if you're looking for a great lunch today, I want you to know about the Fenton Bar and Grill on Rudder Road in Fenton. They have spectacular food. They have wonderful burgers. They have the best trashed wings in St. Louis. As a matter of fact, they are the best trashed wings I've ever had. And of course, they have great wraps and salads. If you're looking for a great place to have a lunch for business or to get together with the guys or gals, or if you're looking for a great place to watch a game, it is the Fenton Bar and Grill. Learn more about what they have for you at fentonbarandgrill.com and stop by and say hi to Alicia and say hi to Kelly and Colleen and the gang. As a matter of fact, I think they're going to bring lunch to us on Wednesday, so we're looking forward to that. It is an absolutely wonderful place to go. Easy to get to. All you need to do is go to the soccer park, put it into your GPS, and head on over to the Fenton Bar and Grill. You'll love the people there. You'll love talking the sports. They love baseball and hockey and soccer and football and everything else. Great place to watch games. Great place to eat food. Great place to have fun. It's the Fenton Bar and Grill. Tell them Randy sent you when you go by, and I'm sure that you'll get a smile out of them at the Fenton Bar and Grill.
Cardinals welcome the worst out west to town. Good morning. I'm Bradford Bruns, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. St. Louis has had its fair share of struggles in 2023, but tonight's guest at Busch Stadium goes next level. Oakland, sitting at 33-85 after a weekend sweep at the hands of the Nationals, faces Miles Michaelis starting at 6:45. The Cards righty turned in a quality line in his last outing versus Tampa Bay, but suffered his 8th loss regardless. Only only one other Central squad will take the field this evening. That's Pittsburgh battling the hapless Mets. Meanwhile, a positive soccer verdict to pass along from Saturday. City SC rallies to tie Atlanta United 3-3 in a scrimmage preceding the resumption of the MLS schedule. This SportsCenter update was brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Time for some NFL news and notes after the first full week of preseason play in the NFL, starting with Damar Hamlin returning to the field in the Bills' win over Indianapolis. In that game, Colts rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson bounced back from an early interception and engineered a pair of lengthy drives. CD, did you see anything of Anthony Richardson?
I didn't get to see that game. The only game I got to see this weekend was the Bears and the Titans game, and I got to see what I said of Justin Fields in his first couple of series was amazing to me. But I do think Anthony Richardson, I've heard nothing but great things about him. Your teammates talking about him, talking about his poise, his maturity for a young player. Obviously, he has the size and the arm strength, which is what attracted the scouts to make him a first-round pick. So
my concern, being an NFL quarterbacks coach as I am, is that he has a really low release point. You see that. Big Ben had that high release point above his helmet. It looks like Richardson releases it like from helmet level, and I just wonder if he's going to get a lot of balls knocked down, even though he's 6'5".
Yeah, he's a big fella. I don't know. And normally, when you're passing the ball, you're not throwing it over defenders. You're finding windows in between the defenders. So, whether it be moving out of the pocket or, like I said, finding those windows in between defensive linemen, defensive tackles, and defensive ends, you should be okay.
And you were saying you watched the Titans, so it seemed like it was more of just a showcase or a competition between Will Levis and Malik Willis.
Yeah.
What were your takeaways? Personally, I thought Malik looked a little bit better this season, and Levis with a pretty decent debut.
What I saw, so we were watching that video from a couple of days ago with Malik Willis and Will Levis when they were doing their drop backs, and you could see the difference in speed between Will Levis going much faster than Malik Willis. I didn't think that would be an issue, but when I'm watching Malik drop back, I can see some of the concerns in that, because when you're slow from under center, sometimes you get stepped on by a center or by a guard, and you don't create enough distance away from the offensive line to be able to find those windows. He's not as tall as an Anthony Richardson, so that may be a concern. I don't know who's better. I thought Will Levis made a couple of poor choices in his throws, and then Malik did as well.
But then he had like a 21-yard strike or something like that. Yeah,
they both did they did okay, but I think it's going to take some. Ryan Tannehill is obviously their starting quarterback, which is, if you're the Tennessee Titans and you've drafted quarterbacks consecutively 2 years back-to-back, and you're still going to stay with the guy that was already the starter, that may lead you to some concern as to maybe we should have drafted someone else, a different position that could help this roster be a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that they've always kind of been looking to see if there was somebody a little bit better than Ryan Tannehill to lead the charge because of his age.
Stays there.
Yeah, and he's just fighting there consistently.
Draft another quarterback next year.
Yeah.
Of course. Titans have a great history of that. As you mentioned, CD, believe me, we painfully know.
Another team that doesn't have a great history of quarterback play is the Chicago Bears. But this weekend, Justin Fields, 3 of 3 for 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. His passer rating, a perfect 158.3. A 62-yard touchdown pass to DJ Moore. A little screen, another 56-yard touchdown pass to Khalil Herbert, and then I don't know what was going on with the Isaiah Ford catch, but 3 completions for 129 yards, an average of 43 yards per pass for Justin Fields. That would set some records.
This is the when you are a young quarterback, and I'm talking from high school to college, even to the NFL, there's this notion that to throw for 150 yards, you got to throw the ball 70 yards down the field. That man threw 2 passes. Neither of them were past the line of scrimmage. Both of them went for 50-plus yards and touchdowns. And that's what having athletic receivers. You get a DJ Moore on this roster. The Bears have not had a receiver, an elite receiver, I would say, ever. Brandon Marshall, maybe, if you want to consider him an elite receiver. And I said this, and this is the most amazing stat that I learned, is DJ Moore in his 5 years in the NFL. If he were to have played for the Chicago Bears, he would be their leading receiver in their history. Right now, he has more yards receiving than any Bears receiver in their history. That is ridiculous. So getting a guy like DJ Moore for Justin Fields is going to alleviate a lot of problems that he has had over his first few years, and it's going to be electric for that team.
The Bears' all-time receiving leaders in terms of receiving yards: Johnny Morris, 1958 to 1967, 5,059 yards. Harlan Hill, 1954 to 1961 with 4,616. Alshon Jeffrey from 2012 to 2016 is third. Walter Payton is fourth, a running back, in terms of receiving yards.
That's crazy.
For that franchise.
That's ridiculous.
Broncos also very interesting because everybody, I feel like, is watching Russell Wilson and Sean Payton this season. He's supposed to be Sean Payton's the quarterback whisperer, right? And it seems like people are trying to figure out Russell Wilson because he like turned into a joke last year, essentially. Is that fair to say? Mm-hmm. He turned into a meme. Everything was picked apart. And I know it's hard to be under the spotlight, but it seems like there was times that he just literally opened himself up to a lot of those conversations. Right. Especially
Broncos country.
That's right. Let's ride. And that became, an internet sensation, and not in a good way. So Wilson opened the game one of 4 for 19 yards with a sack and a recovered fumble. He did recover a little bit, finishing 7 of 13 for 93 yards and a touchdown. But what were your feelings? I know it's just a preseason game, so you can't look too much into it, but I think a lot of people were interested to see how things started out with this relationship with Sean Payton and Russell Wilson.
I think it's important to realize that Russell Wilson has had a great career in Seattle, but a lot of that was improvisation. Like, he's able to move on the fly and get outside of the pocket. And I think with what Sean Payton is going to ask him, if you watch Drew Brees was in the pocket, throwing balls on time, downfield, getting guys open. He did a fantastic job of finding receivers and using all 5 eligible receivers. So if Russell Wilson can be less of himself and more of what Sean Payton needs him to be, I think he can be really good. But I don't know, we're 10, 12 years into his career. I don't think that Russell Wilson is going to dial that part back to be something that he hasn't been. So it's going to be intriguing because the Denver Broncos have a championship type of defense. They are going to not allow you to score points. They're going to play well on the defensive side. Can they put up enough points? Is going to be the main question for this Broncos team this year.
Do you think that Sean Payton's striving for a more up-tempo offense and that Russell will be able to adjust to that well?
I think he's going to, like I said, the on-time passes, getting the ball out to the receivers so they can catch and make plays, taking your shots downfield when need be, getting the running back involved in the passing game, which he did very well. That all of those things are important, but it's hard to do that when your quarterback tends to move outside of the pocket and doesn't stay in pocket and throw the ball on time. So that's really a Russell Wilson question. Is he willing to do that consistently? If he is, Sean Payton has shown that they will be really good. They got some receivers, they got some running backs, they got guys that can make plays. Is Russell Wilson willing to do that?
And one of the problems they have is that they've had real injury issues at receiver. Tim Patrick was supposed to come back. He's already on injured reserve with
torn
Achilles. So he's hurting. They had, I think Jerry Jeudy was nicked up a little bit. They've already got some problems there at the receiver position, and I don't know if we'll find out this year if Russell is a guy that can elevate players, because as it turns out, the receivers that he had in Seattle turned out to be really good guys.
Yeah, and here's the thing: if Russell doesn't do it, it'll be one and done. with him and Payton, I don't think Sean Payton will stick around with Russell Wilson as his quarterback if he's not able to do the things that he needs to do. He would be looking for another guy in the draft.
So those are your NFL news and notes here on 101 ESPN. Coming up, we're going to head down the stretch. Rock isn't here, but that doesn't mean we don't have rock and roll. It's coming your way with Bradford Bruns here on 101 ESPN. Hey, let's talk real estate for a minute. If you need a reliable, experienced, and trusted agent, take it from me and get to know Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Her number is 314-325-6888. And Gloria is great because she already has the buyers for your home. She's able to guarantee the sale of your home in writing because Gloria already has buyers, thousands of ready buyers that have come from over 20 years in her exclusive database looking to buy in your neighborhood and in your price range. This is how Gloria nets you the most money and creates the highest demand, many times with multiple offers, which means more money in your pocket. Gloria sells for more and sells faster when compared to your average agent. Gloria Liu is not your average agent. She's St. Louis local real estate authority with 20 years of experience, hundreds of homes sold in just the past 12 months alone, and the only agent that I would trust to sell my home. Gloria's number, 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or simply visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Matthew Rocchio is out today. Bradford Bruns in for Matthew, and he's got some rock and roll items for us.
Absolutely, guys. Hey, in honor of Mr. Rocchio, whom I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is in his adopted city again or coming back from the adopted city.
Denver, yeah.
Isn't that correct? Yeah, absolutely. So I have to take it upon myself to play Mr. Mizzou on this occasion. And yeah, I know the football program. It kicks off on the 31st Thursday night affair, which is just kind of weird to put out there against South Dakota State. But for today, let's talk a little bit about hoops, because as we went into the weekend, word was beginning to trickle out that Dennis Gates had landed another big-time commitment from a would-be top 100 recruit in the class of 2024. This time around, we're talking about a 7-footer, guys, who tips the scales at about 300 pounds, Peyton Marshall. And look, I know that SEC games, when you're talking about this coming season, next year, they're not one on paper. But isn't it legitimately exciting to have this sense of enthusiasm surrounding the program? And I know a lot of people are probably thinking, how do you really reach the rarefied heights that the Tigers were able to ascend to last season? Is there going to be a bit of a drop-off this year? And yet, everything that we have received over the last few months coming out of Columbia on the basketball front, really nothing but roses, and Dennis Gates getting out there, establishing himself, and recruiting like the Dickens right away.
I think Dennis Gates is a fabulous recruiter. I mean, he seems like a person that a lot of people would want to play for. Their style of offense that they played, they were getting their shots up. They were up and down, playing with great pace, and it was fun to watch. They were a team that scored a lot of points, and so if you are a hooper and you want to score, you want to play in an offense like that, is it sustainable? Are they able to dial in defensively when the time counts, when the time matters? I think that's going to be a question. But I think in your second year, where you start to turn that program over and get guys that you recruit in there and really kind of put your imprint in on who you are, I think Dennis Gates and the Tigers are going to be really good.
Last year was huge for them, not only because of the success that they had, but because the SEC right now is right there with the Big Ten in terms of being the best basketball conference. Kids want to play in the SEC. It's a young man's game, and the game that the Tigers employ under Dennis Gates is really attractive to 16 and 17-year-olds. They like Mizzou now, and they like him, and I really think that they're on their way. I think he has a chance to do really special things.
Yeah, this is just very interesting. I'm also reading, too, that Peyton Marshall has ties to St. Louis. He grew up in St. Louis before moving to Georgia. So that's really interesting, too. It's just, even if you've met Dennis Gates, and I know that you guys had him on before I came on the show, he is just such a electric personality and super nice and friendly. He even recruited CD to
clearly convincing, right?
Yeah,
very convincing.
Yeah, very convincing.
Won't happen again, but it was cool. One and done.
I can see, especially when you're recruiting young athletes. It's interesting because we've talked about it before, how much recruiting has changed and your approach with recruiting athletes, and it feels like Dennis Gates really has the pulse on how to do that.
Yeah.
Best decision that athletic department could have made going into the NCAA tournament on the heels of that victory, extending in the here and now. Yes.
With a massive buyout, too.
With a massive buyout, yes. Granted, very true. Let's talk a little bit more about the collegiate front, guys, specifically the gridiron, where I'm just left to scratch my head concerning this entire University of Michigan situation. It is the Big Ten after all, but what we have here right now is a case of the Committee of Infractions investigating body on behalf of the NCAA, not quite sure whether to actually now move forward with what would have been a 4-game suspension at the beginning of the college football season for Jim Harbaugh. That has been rejected while further investigation is taking place. And guys, from the very beginning, this seemed to me akin to a slap on the wrist style of situation, sort of punishment. You have potential infractions and violations during what was the dead COVID-19 period. But when you're talking about basically a slew of cupcakes, and Harbaugh would be on the sidelines for those, just on game days, mind you, still would have been allowed to participate in practices, overseeing everything else, and now this process is stalling. Why?
I think to start it off, I mean, it was about him buying food during the COVID period for some recruits, if I'm not mistaken, and look, I think it was more about the cover-up than the actual deed of doing it. It's the NCAA has some strange rules and some strange verdicts and some strange reasoning for why they do certain things and why they don't do other things. I don't have an issue with if that's all it was, purchasing food for student athletes or projected student athletes. It's not that big of a deal. But there are so many rules and infractions that you can incur while you're coaching, while you're a college coach, that you may or may not even realize that you're doing it.
So if it's that matter, how does it rise to the level of a level 1 violation?
I think the fact that he didn't tell the truth or he wasn't truthful and forthcoming in what took place, is probably what the issue was.
That's what it seems like, that it was more of that issue is the cover-up rather than the actual, I guess, quote-unquote crime committed. But I think that the one thing that bothers me in this whole situation is that when you're talking about the NCAA and how they've done certain things in the past, not having some sort of consistency on how you handle these situations, I don't think helps their case where people want to continue to deal with them or trust them.
And the NCAA is traditionally very secretive, and they don't want us to know what they're doing, and they don't want to explain things to us. Thus, you have the North Carolina, Mississippi State situations where they get a slap on the wrist, and Mizzou winds up losing a bowl game.
It looks like special treatment sometimes.
Yeah, right. And then when things don't go their way, then the NCAA releases a statement like they did about Harbaugh that said, quote, the Michigan infractions case is related to impermissible on and off campus recruiting during the COVID-19 dead period and impermissible coaching activities, not a cheeseburger.
Right.
It is not uncommon for the CDI to seek clarification on key facts prior to accepting. The CDI may also reject a negotiated resolution if it determines that the agreement is not in the best interests of the association or the penalties are not reasonable. If the involved parties cannot resolve a case through the negotiated resolution process, it may proceed to a hearing, but the committee believes cooperation is the best avenue to quickly resolve issues. Here's my thing. The NCAA is a toothless entity right now. They have no jurisdiction over Power 5 football, which is where Michigan is. And you know what? I think Jim Harbaugh can just throw up a middle finger at them, and I don't think he has to worry about anything.
Because going to happen?
Yeah, what's the NCAA going to do? It's not like you're going to be able to control Power 5 football.
Exactly.
So that's it for our fabulous, without Matthew Rocchio, rock and roll. Thank you, Bradford Bruns.
I would say that it's been fun or a pleasure, but I don't want to crib from Brooke. So let's go with the synonym, right? Enthralling on this day.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
How about that? Good
Very
stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
We had a few laughs. It was pretty fun.
We got some balloons.
And balloons?
That balloon, I would say that, what is it,
This
STL
is
Balloons?
so cool.
At STL Balloons, is that what that is?
Yeah, at STL Balloons.
That
on the
is-
Twitter machine, is it?
You all did
X. Got
an
it,
amazing job. The Randy Karraker balloon on
There's
top
a Randy balloon.
is amazing. You should take that one. Just take the whole thing, but make sure you
I'll
save
take
that one.
Okay, yeah, I've got a
I
couple
think that you need to put it, we keep
Yeah,
it here.
Cardinal.
Yeah, you keep it here and make everybody walk through it on the other
like
shows.
football, like going through the tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Brian Stiles at STL Balloons actually follows me, which is cool. Thanks, Brian.
Very nice.
And he is an extremely creative balloon guy. So at STL Balloons, so if you want a big balloon made that has me on it.
How long do you think that takes?
Must have taken a lot of time. It's really sensational. So yeah, and we'll put pictures of it up on the Twitter machine. I'll do that right now.
Very nice.
But we appreciate the great work of Bradford Bruns. Thank you, sir. I met Bradford's brother last night, by the way. Delightful guy.
How about that? Bruns family affair this week.
Yeah,
Early on.
it was great. Brooke, this was fun.
Yes.
It was a great Monday. CD?
My man.
I poke bears.
We like
Even
that
better.
one too.
Yep. We have a balloon party with T-Mac and Ajax coming up, and then BK and Ferrario until 2 in the fast lane with one Anthony Stalter and one Jamie Rivers between 2 and 6. We thank you for tuning in, texting in, and being a part of the show. And for all of us, until tomorrow, that would be Tuesday morning at 7. Have a great day, St. Louis.
That's right.
Hey, it's Carey for Window Nation. Are you feeling the heat? Well, the high temps aren't the only thing getting you hot under the collar. Wait until you see your energy bills. The solution? I recommend my friends at Window Nation for new energy-efficient windows. Your home stays cool and comfortable. Your AC will avoid any premature breakdowns, and you will save on those high energy bills, not to mention the incredible savings Window Nation is offering right now. Get 50% off of any style window, bows, bays, double hung, sliders, 50% off plus 0 down, make 0 payments with 0% interest for 24 months. And this week only, receive an additional 10% off. So maintain your chill and lower your bill and fill your home with new windows from Window Nation. Get 50% off of any style windows and pay nothing for 2 years. Call 866-90-NATION this week and get an additional 10% off your order. Get a pair of Cards tickets with the purchase of a house of windows. That's 866-90-NATION, or go online at windownation.com and tell them Carey sent you.